Let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh, inside. Good evening, cousin. Inside. Bringing hope and make you feel alright. Rainbow, the promise, the future, and life. Let the light that's within me shine to the whole world, whole world. Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh, inside, inside. I see you, my dear cousin. How are you? Happy Thursday. I'm missing you. I hope you are good. Thank you so much for joining. Rainbow. Thank you, thank you. Abdul Latif, I see you. I know, I miss you. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you are good. Let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh, inside. Yes, please help share this live. Help share to your friends. Click down on your screen and you see all these names pop up. Just help me send to everybody. Don't leave any single person. Freeze, I see you. Oh, I see. Okay. Rainbow. Happy Thursday. I hope you are good. Yes. We thank God. We thank God. Whole world. I'm just gonna wait a few minutes for others to join in. Let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Hold on, I see you. Good evening. Inside. This is the day the Lord has made. Indeed, I'm gonna rejoice and be glad in it. I'm seeing some people on the FY there. Hey, happy Thursday. I hope the week hasn't been too tedious. The weather, yeah, it's just okay. I love me some rain as well. I mean, better raining than being cold. Thank God. Happy summer wherever you are. Well, hopefully summer where you are. Abby D7, I see you. Good evening. I hope you are good. Quite an interesting topic today and a very sensitive one. And as usual, I'm mindful. Yeah, it's a very deep and very sensitive topic today on Insight with FunmiRoyal. Good evening once again. Thanks for joining wherever you're joining from. You can just put in the chat where you're joining from, just so you know we have an idea, people passing through this community today. I'm grateful, as usual, I'm grateful to God for the gift of life. And like I said, it's a very sensitive topic today, but we dare talk about this here on Insight. Bring a bit of light to this. Let's talk about it. It's one of the hardest topics you will find couples talking about, or people generally talking about. Ruthie, I see you. Good evening. I hope you are good. But I always say, dear, we talk about it here on Insight. Let's put the devil to shame, as they say. Let's face the truth. Let's talk some truth to ourselves. Let us reason together tonight as we delve into this topic. However, like I said, the sensitivity nature of this topic, if for any reason is triggering something, deep and sensitive for you as well, I do understand. Please feel free to reach me privately, and there is help available. Whatever we're going through, whatever it is, there's always help available. It may seem difficult, it may seem challenging. I mean, as an integrative counselor myself, I've had clients who were really literally scared for their lives, and I get it. But there is help available if you're willing to. I mean, please, like I said, do reach out to me if any part of this program today is triggering certain things for you that feels overwhelming. Baba D, I see you. BD, I see you. Thanks for joining. I hope we are keeping well. Brown skin, welcome. Please help share this live to your friends. Let them be part of this talk today. I'm going to be going shortly into this talk, and for the sake of, TikTok, and for the sake of as many that will be joining in today, Papa J, I see you. Afri Tales, you're welcome. I'm going to be talking about domestic violence today, and I really want to not say that as often as it's in my note, so I'll just refer to it most of the time as DV. So when you hear me say DV, you know what I'm talking about. Like I said, if any aspect of this program is going to trigger or is triggering anything for you, you need someone to talk to, please feel free to reach me privately, and we will see how best to help one another. Zareen, I see you. Esther, thanks for joining. Please help share this live, and what I do after the live, I give you a couple of days or a week at best. I try to repost, because I know some people might miss this program and they really would want to, learn one or two things, or how to cope with this, or what to do. So I will be loading this particular live shortly, hopefully in the next 1 week, and hopefully you can find one or two things that will be beneficial to you and helpful as well. A13, I see you. Thank you so much for joining. Dawn of TikTok. Wow. Okay. I see you. I wonder who gave you the coronation. Well, just joking. Once again, welcome to Insight with FunmiRoyal today. Like I said, we'll be talking about domestic violence in marriage, DV in marriage. So I'm going to be using the acronyms DV a lot, and you know what it means. Ubong, I see you. Good evening. I hope you are good. Please, let's keep tapping to attract other people to this live. Like I said, it's a sensitive one, but we will talk about it here on Insight. So let's go deep into it and be mindful. Yeah, let's tap as well. Share to your friends. Let them be part of this talk, especially those you think might need it. So I gave it a mini subtitle or a subtitle: Exposing the Hidden Hurt and Restoring God's Plan for the Marriage. Because like I always say, God is the one that instituted the marriage institution, and he's giving us some sort of guidelines how to treat one another, how to care for one another, whether the man towards the wife or the wife towards the husband, whichever way. There are certain rules that we're meant to abide by, and that's why each person's role has been clearly defined. But you and I know that there's a lot people are contending with. Some parents, they don't know any better how husbands and wife are meant to care for one another in a positive way, and they've passed it on to their children, who has passed it on to their children, and you find out that this is like a cycle. So whatever is being passed on either is magnified negatively or positively. So let's look at how would God have us live in our marriage? Because like I say, I'm a believer, and I'm not sorry about that. Most of the reference I'm going to be using is taken from the Bible, because God, I believe, strongly instituted the marriage institution for us to live by. If God knew it was not going to work, he wouldn't have created that marriage institution for us human being to be part of. And I always say that the reason why things are the way they are, especially not too good, we need to check ourselves. Are we doing the needful? Are we doing the right things by our husbands, by our wives? Hence, if we are not, we're not enjoying the goodness of that marriage. But things can change as long as we have the right mindset. We want things to change. I mean, a wife wants to enjoy their marriage, husbands still want to enjoy their marriage. So what is that thing we're doing, or what is that thing we're not paying attention to, that is really hurting whoever we are married to? So let's look at this and break this down. And sometimes this DV may be subtle, and over time, if not dealt with, becomes something very huge, something very dangerous even. Let's go there. So let's go into the talk. Like I said, please help share this live. Thank you, A13. Thank you so much. So we all know that marriage is meant to be a sacred union built on love, respect, trust, and mutual care for one another. Husband caring for the wife, wife caring for the husband. It was designed by God, like I said, not only to bring companionship, but also to reflect God's love. He loved us so much, he sacrificed his son to come die for us so that we can live eternal life eventually. However, sadly, for many people, marriage has become a place of fear, a place of pain, and a place of oppression due to DV. And should that be so? No. Was that God's plan and intention for marriage? No, it is not. But like I say, we have baggages we bring from our past, baggages from our childhood, baggages even as adults. Good evening, Leslie. Oh, you're on time today. I'm just about giving the introduction. And I mean, I remembered, thank you for the heart me. A couple of weeks ago, a friend asked, oh, I don't know what topic we treated on that Thursday. Sandrum, I see you. And they said, oh, we should talk about domestic violence. And we should talk about one other thing they mentioned. And I said, well, maybe that's not really the focus here, but it's part of this marriage talk people shy away from. And I said, you know what, let me not talk too much. I said to my friend, let me check the titles or topics for the rest of the year. Maybe it's in there somewhere. And alas, I checked, it was just like 3 weeks away. And I'm like, wow. Because like I said, the topics, in the place of solitary or solitude, I got them all the way to December already. And when I checked, I'm like, wow, I didn't even think that was part of the topic, and hence the topic is here today. So please help share to a lot of people Let us talk about it here on Insight, and not just talk about things, way out things that can be done. We can't shy away forever from these things. It's happening. It's affecting marriages left, right, and center, new marriages, old marriages, is affecting marriages. So let's talk about it and figure some way out. God helping all of us. So today we're going to be addressing this difficult but necessary topic, domestic violence in marriage. Like I said, I'll be using more DV in marriage, and as you can see on the screen, that is the topic for today. It's a painful reality that affects millions across the world. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, if you're Asian, African, Caucasian, or whatever, whatever, anywhere in the world, as long as you're human. And in your community, people engage in a marriage ceremony or marriage institution. So this is painful, but it's the reality in some marriages, including within faith communities. It's sad, but it has to be said. It is often hidden, Okay, it's not written on the forehead. It is often or most times justified and sometimes is ignored. But silence empowers abuse. You and I know that. Hence, let us talk about this in this space. As individuals and as a community, we must shine light into this darkness. Truly, it is darkness. No God's plan was never for DVs to take place in a home. God is all about love. We know that. And He's all about justice, even. He's all about caring, understanding, gentleness, kindness. But we know that life happens, and a lot of things can also happen for every individual, whether husbands or whether wives. Things do happen and we understand. But we cannot keep silence and allow this darkness to fester on in marriages. And then we keep quiet about it and not talk about things. Some people don't even know they're engaging in it. So we're going to shed a bit of light to it by the grace of God today. So, what is DV? What is DV? So DV is a pattern of behavior in which one partner abuses or control or dominate the other in their marriage. So I'm not gender biased here, because I've heard of cases where women would actually, beat up their husbands beating up their wives. I mean, in that regard. And likewise, other sort of DVs, which I'm going to be mentioning, do happen, whether from man to woman or woman to man. But we all know the most common one, but we're not gender biased here today. Once again, I want to say at this point again, if any of this talk is triggering something for you and you need that space to offload on a one-to-one basis, please reach out to me privately. Like I say, check out my bio. I'm an integrative counselor. We can help one another out. The intention is for us to shed light on this in case it's happening to you and you're not even aware. Or you're the perpetrator and you do not even know you are. So we're not here to judge anyone, but we're here to help one another so that we can enjoy this marriage institution set up by God. So it can take so many forms. DVs can take so many forms. And I'm going to mention types of DVs, especially in a marriage relationship. There's the physical abuse, that is hitting, slapping, choking, pushing, restraining, all that comes under the physical abuse. Sometimes they say, oh, it wasn't intended. Oh, my hand just slipped. Or my fist just slipped. I don't know what kind of a slip is that. But physical abuse involve all of those slapping, hitting, choking, and the likes, which I don't think God will want you to do this to your spouse. I think men lead in DV when it first became a thing, and now it's no longer gender specific at all. Because in the process, like I said, children growing up in such home, especially the female, they're like, I'm not gonna take this when I grow up. And they now bring up this defense, like if the man just tell them nonsense, they will slap the man because that's what they saw growing up. So the woman can put that up as a kind of self-defense, but in the process you find out that the man has not even done anything to them, but they're just unnecessarily on guard, so to say. So we need to be mindful. That's why I said we're not gender biased here. Men are being abused in their marriage, women also being abused in their marriage. Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, it is, especially in our society today, because all these things, like I said, is a cycle that has grown bigger and bigger. So maybe before it was a particular gender, but now, because both male and female grow up in the same home and they see these things, and God help you even have 4 girls, all of them seeing, all of that, and now they're all 4 girls grown up, married, and they're like, they're not going to take nonsense from their spouse. If he does anything, they slap and hit and all of that. So you can imagine that can be the situation as well. Again, there's verbal abuse. You might think, oh, what's that? Verbal abuse, it's some people say, I'd rather be beaten than to be abused, because it goes straight into your core and you start mulling over it, and all sorts happen for you. Low self-esteem, you're not good enough, no one wants you, is a privilege, you're in this relationship, and all of those ways of thinking. But no, verbal abuse is very, very dark as well, and that includes insult, threats, name calling, constant criticism from your spouse. So be mindful if you and your spouse, maybe anytime you have some disagreement or conflict, they go straight with the verbal abuse. They will call you names. Even you will wonder, is this really your spouse? Yeah, when things get heated up, sometimes the true nature can come out, and then you may not have seen that before because everything was hunky-dory and all good. But when it now comes to conflict, you just see a different side to them. And they would have said all of these things, and even sometimes they don't even believe what comes out from their mouth, but these things do happen. But it's not a way to treat one's spouse. It's not a way to behave regardless of what conflict it is you're trying to sort out. Another type of DV is the emotional and psychological abuse. This one also is very dark. A lot of people have lost their minds, whether man or woman, in their marriage. And like I always say, this is not God's intention for a husband or a wife in that marriage institution. So we really need to be mindful how we treat one another. Don't say, oh, it's just subtle, just a little. No, nothing is subtle. If that subtleness is not addressed, it's going to expand and get to something huge that may just be bigger than you. And before you realize, oh, thank you so much, A13, the damage has been done. So when you talk about emotional and psychological abuse, you talk about being intimidated by your spouse. They manipulate you, they gaslight you, they isolate you, not just even from them, from family, friends, and loved ones. They don't want anyone coming close to you. They might even stop you from working. You have to depend on them. Psychologically, you can't reason by yourself. You cannot decide anything by yourself. It just has to go through them. They're just in control of your mind. Good evening, Kenneth. I see you. So DV can come in this form as well. I encourage more viewers to share. Okay, please share. TikTok is asking us, or is it 8:13 now? Let's share to other people, because like I said, it's a very deep topic that people tend to shy away from when you're talking about marriage talks. But we cannot continue to shy away from it. Like I said, let us open up here on Insight. We'll talk about it, ways forward, how to handle things, how to get the right help, when necessary. It's a long one today, so you'll pardon my talk, and I'll try to, to shorten as much as I can. But like I said, it's a very crucial topic. Another type of DV is sexual abuse. And this one, it's so hard. Like I say, it's not written on the forehead. I mean, how dare you say to somebody outside of your marriage that you're being abused by your partner? They'll be like, aren't you guys married? Why, But then there's something called forced or coerced sexual acts. Maybe you're not in the mood, whether the husband or the wife, and you're forcefully, you were forced into engaging with that, and it's not just one time, twice. It's like almost a constant thing going, happens every now and then. No, sexual abuse is not allowed, even if it's a marriage relationship. It is not allowed. It is a no. And I always say to people, I dare to say this, consider one day you have a daughter, you have a son. Would you want their spouse to treat them the way you're treating your spouse right now? And except you're not honest with yourself, you find out that when you reflect in that way, maybe it can hit something on the inside of you to actually stop, if you're the type engaging in this, and if you're the type that is being victimized. Would you want your daughter or your son to stay in that relationship just like that as well, for the sake of marriage, or till death do us part? There's certain things God does not condone. And I mean, fine, he won't come down and say, you go your way, you go your way. And that's why I say, let us talk about it so you know what to do. Sometimes we need to get professional help and we're back on track. That has happened many times as well. But when we don't get that help, we carry on with that behavior and eventually somebody will get hurt. So we need to be mindful. Say we know someone who suffered SA by her husband, deadly. Thankfully, that marriage ended. You know, it's sad. There's so many cases. I will have to just block my mind away, because if I keep telling us all the cases I know, I've heard, or I've seen, we will not leave inside tonight. So God helping me, I'll cut it as short as possible, because I know a lot of us, we understand this topic, we just don't want to talk about it. So here we are on Insight today. So the one I'll mention again in terms of DV is the financial abuse. Some people might say financial abuse, how is that? Yeah, it is part of it. Withholding money, controlling access to finances, economic dependency. You make sure you met your wife or your husband high top on their game professionally and all that, and you didn't say anything. Of course, these people sometimes they hide certain control attitude they have, and then the moment you get married, you will even wait 6 months, let them still be enjoying their profession. Bam, you just come, actually I don't think you need to be working, we are, you know, and they will justify all of that. That is step one. They are starting with you gradually. They win you off work. They will try to persuade you why you shouldn't be working. After all, my wages or whatever is enough to fend for us, we're good and all that. Just stay. So, you know, we're planning to start having children, I need you to relax. You almost buy it and all, especially when it's to the woman. And for the man, the wife might say, my father is a tycoon, you don't have to work. That's why I said it goes both ways. You know, let's sit down and plan maybe our own private business or something, and the man will go and resign, and then we'll sit, let's talk. She say, oh, I'm busy, oh, this contract, oh, my father needs me, oh, this, and the man will just feel useless at home. That is financial abuse, because now he needs money to do stuff. You just say, oh honey, I've transferred some money to your account, you'll be fine. And before you know, a year is gone, this man is not working, just gets handouts from the wife, and something in him is not even told him that, are you okay? Is this okay? Is this what you planned for your marriage? So it can be that subtle, but it does happen, and if things will get escalated, you know, if it's not dealt with. So I can't imagine such a man being out of work for 2, 3, 4 years, just living on handouts and promises from the wife. No, that is financial abuse. Again, spiritual abuse also is part of this. That's why I said even the faith-based institution is not left behind. Of course, in my church, well, not in my church that I know, well, maybe actually, people have gone their separate ways because of DVs or because of other reasons, you know, that they cannot handle or whatever it is. Even in churches, these things are happening. And does that make it seem right, even though if faith-based people are divorcing? No. Like I say, except we're not being truthful to ourselves, whatever makes a man and woman to call it quits in their marriage, let them sit down. Let's sit down before God, the one who has made that institution, and let's be honest with ourselves. Why are we here divorced? Did I do what I'm meant to do in this relationship? Did you do what you're meant to do in this relationship? Because if DV and all of these DVs I've mentioned is not there, then what is? Why the divorce, so to say? But you and I know that as I'm mentioning this DV, it may sound somewhat subtle, but it's not. Because when it gets to the extreme, like I said, some people may actually lose their mind. Some people, they are lost. Some people, it's insomnia, anxiety, all of those things I'm going to be mentioning. So let's be mindful. At least those are the 6 major ones that I had to touch tonight. So you figure it out. Like I said, sometimes it may be subtle. It may be subtle that you don't pay attention to it. But at the same time, let's not jump into conclusion, especially when it's not DV, and say it is DV. God will judge you as well for that. So let's be on a positive page together here. So I want to talk quickly about the cycle of abuse. The cycle of abuse. I thought of leaving it out. I said, well, maybe it's a counseling thing, but no, I'll mention it here because I remembered was it last year I did a course on domestic abuse. And boy, oh boy, it opened my eyes to even more. The statistics is bad, is huge. And a lot of, even that statistics that I felt was huge, I read in there in that report that a lot of people do not even report the abuse because of shame, because of all other reasons. So it's on the rampage and we need to talk about this. We need to address this. If couples need to go counseling before they even get to that chronic stage, please do. There's no shameful thing about it. Like I say, your car is broken down, you quickly call the mechanic or take the car to the mechanic. Your marriage is breaking down. Why not seek professional help? At least you've tried your very best, maybe both of you together, and things are still rough like that. You find out you're angry, you raise your hand, you do this and all that. Then if it's too much for both of you to handle, please go seek professional help. So coercion is another horrible one. I'm telling you, there's so many, but for time I had to limit it. So let's look at this cycle of abuse, domestic violence in a one-time event. It follows a cycle. It's not a one-time event. It follows this kind of cycle. So pay attention to it. It starts off with tension building. Maybe you're even newlyweds or you've been married 100 years. Who knows? These things can still occur. You find out that there's a lot of anger, where your spouse is concerned. They like to control every single thing. Even your opinion doesn't matter. It's whatever they say eventually you would have to do at all times. Like there's no compromise. There's no halfway. There's no quarter way. It just must be within their control, whatever it is. And that kind of builds this tension. You just feel you don't have a say. You keep quiet. That is not God's plan for you in your marriage. You're meant to build together, side by side. And then you're walking on eggshells where they're concerned. Why is that so? That is not God's plan for husbands or wives to live in that marriage institution. So be mindful. If your spouse is the type that, when they're around, you're afraid or you're anxious. When they're around, you just feel tensed. It shouldn't be. In fact, when they're not around, you should miss them. When they're around, you just can't stay away from their presence. That's how it's meant to be. But you and I know life happens. Again, another cycle is the incident itself. There's an outburst and then abuse occurs, whether intentionally, quote and unquote, or, unintentionally. But there's just an outburst and the abuse will occur. Some, like I said, may use a weapon, as small as a remote control and throw it to you. It might hit your head, hit your eye, and you just feel, okay, it's just, I provoked them. You try to justify it. You try to make excuses for them. Somebody threw the remote at your eye. You can't even see. Maybe a bit of blood is coming out, and you're trying to justify that. What kind of conflict or what kind of argument should lead to that? It starts subtly, like I said, it's the remote today. Who knows? Maybe they're in the kitchen with you cooking and they have a knife, and God forbid. So let's be mindful. Do not look away from such incidents. Okay. The third is, this is what the abuser will do. So I'm talking about the cycle of abuse. They build tension and then the incident happens. They've done the damage or the havoc, and now they try to reconcile with you. What do? The abuser would apologize. They promise to change. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to, I'm so sorry. They'll be so remorseful. And then something in you will say, I love this person. At least they've apologized. You can see them. In fact, they're close to tears apologizing to you. This is to draw you back in, to make you believe that all is well. Sometimes they may mean it, But most times, really, this is just a cycle of abuse. So you forgive them, quickly embrace them and all. But has anything really changed? It's just a matter of time. They will promise you heaven and earth, you know. And then there's this one that fascinates me so much. The next cycle after they reconcile with you is called the calm. And that's known as the honeymoon phase, you know, quote and unquote. Peace of mind, but tension slowly rebuilds. The calm stage, they can even buy you flower or buy you gifts. Like the woman can buy you gifts, you know, when they've committed their atrocity, they've apologized, and they feel like just to win you over some more, to know that everything is at peace. They will buy you gifts, maybe something you like so much that maybe you've been talking about it. They're like, no, you can't have this, you can't have this. Bam, that's the thing they will buy. And you'll be like, oh my God, they've truly changed. Oh wow, they've truly changed. And you take the gift, let there be some days pass by. In fact, whether something has happened or has not happened, it's like a leopard cannot change its skin, so to say. And slowly you find out that the tension start rebuilding again, and then you go back into that tension building. The incident happen again, they reconcile back to you, and then they bring the calmness again, the honeymoon phase and all of that. So many stay trapped in this cycle, holding on to the hope that things will change. 10 years down the line, nothing has changed. Rather, the abuse has grown deeper and bigger and more craftier. If there's any more craftier, to let you know the enormity of what I'm trying to say. God will help us. So let's look at the signs of domestic violence, DV. Some signs may include constant fear of your partner. I mean, it shouldn't be so. It should be constant love for our partners. But when you have constant fear for your partner, then something is wrong. Don't suppress that feeling, whether it's intuition you want to call it. Do not suppress it. When you're constantly afraid to be where your spouse is, if you go to an event, your heart will be pounding. Hey, what would they say to you publicly again now, just to shame you and this and that, you know? You'll be afraid to go out with your partner. You'll be afraid to be in the same room with them. You'll be why? That shouldn't be so. That's not God's plan for husband and wife in that marriage. So pay attention to your feelings towards your partner. If it's not love, if it's not care, if it's fear, oh no, something is definitely wrong. Again, some signs may be being blamed for everything. Everything is always your fault, not theirs. Even when it's so obvious that it is their fault. Somehow they will gaslight you. Somehow they will manipulate you to believing that this thing right now is your fault. And you almost believe it. And then you feel guilty for no reason. And then you even go and have to be apologizing for something that is their fault. So when this happens all the time, I'm talking about signs of DV now. So look out for this. When your spouse blames you for everything gone wrong, whether it's your fault, you are to blame. You are to be blamed. Whether you're not at fault, you are to be blamed. And again, another sign is restriction from seeing friends and family. They would block off people from you stylishly. And you need to understand this, that it is not healthy. Your sister wants to come over. Oh no, not this time around. Tell them another time. Before you know, 5 years is gone by. Not a single family has been able to come and see you. Maybe one or two families. Oh, so who are these family members? Oh, your spouse's family members. At his say so. Some will even cut their own family because they don't want you to come around and see the way they're treating their wife, because they can't help it. Something will show, and they don't want you, that family member, to go and be telling the village their business. So they wouldn't want you, their own family, to come around and be seeing all the display, all the DVs. So if your spouse is the one that is always chasing family and friends away from you, ask questions, maybe from afar, if they're the DV type, so that they don't, pound on you. Be mindful. Let them tell you the reasons why, And if you want to go out, they're not letting you, let them tell you the reasons why. Because everyone is an adult. No one is meant to be caged or imprisoned in their own home. It is not God's plan at all. Another sign you can look for is feeling isolated or worthless. Any little thing, they make you feel worthless. They isolate you. They only come to your presence when they need something or they want you to do something. They can't just sit down and relax where you are. No, they make you feel worthless. Any little thing, they will tell you how inadequate you are. They will tell you how incapable you are. They will tell you all these negative things. And over time, you almost start believing it. You can't cook. You know you used to be the best cook in your family, and now you can't cook. They will tell you how bad, horrible the food is, or how bad your driving is. In the case the other way, they will just make you feel worthless. This is a sign for you to look out for when we're talking about DVs. Like I said, there's so many aspects to DV. That's why we're trying to break it down as much as possible. Again, another sign, physical injuries or accidents. When you are not a Frank Spencer, what's his name? Some mothers do have them. It's only Frank, is it Frank Spencer? Yeah, that would, in fact, if he enters a room, if he does not destroy everything in there, he's not Frank Spencer. You know, injuries here and there. On your arm, you cover it long sleeve. On your neck, from strangulation, you will wear turtleneck inside very hot sun, trying to cover things, you know. Accidents, they pour hot tea on you. It was an accident. They throw that remote in your eye. It was an accident. They didn't mean to. And then you have all this injury, all these scars all over you. Hello. When you're not an animal in the jungle fighting other animals, that they'll be scratching you and all of that. The only sign or the only scar I want to see on us is what do you call it? Hickey. When your spouse kisses one side of your neck and it goes red, that's what is called hickey. That's the only sign, only scar we want to see on you. Not a hand like this and then you wear turtleneck that will reach here. And then they'll be wondering, what kind of cold is catching this person? Or it could be the man. The man can't wear singlet. He has to wear something to cover his body because of all these scratchings from the spouse. This is not how God will want us to live with one another. So it's very important we open our eyes and see all of these signs I'm talking about. And the last one I'm going to mention is being forced into actions against your will. You know these things you don't want to do. You don't feel comfortable. It's not you. Yet they will force you, whether by manipulation or by control or whichever way, force you to do something against your will. They might force you to, in fact, I don't even know what other example I can give. Hickey, that was early days love for us. Hey, I know, very interesting. You know, that's the only scar I want to see on your neck. Like it's been kissed and over-kissed. Not bruises from hurts or from, you know, accidents, quote and unquote. So anytime your spouse is forcing you to do something against your will, this is a sort of sign to let you know that this is abuse. It may seem subtle, but you just find out that you keep doing against your will. One day they would ask you to do something gruesome and you dare not refuse because they'd be like, what has changed? After everything I tell you to do, whether it's against your will or not, you always do. So why is this different? Abuse is not always visible. It often begins subtly, like I said, and worsens over time, especially when not addressed. I'll move on swiftly. So let's look at some common misconceptions of DV in marriage. Because like I say, society sometimes defines certain things. You and I know that this is not part of God's plan for a marriage. For example, it's just a private matter between my husband and myself. They will even be telling the person that has been abused, that both the victim and the perpetrator, they say, no, our marriage is our private matter, is our business. No. Abuse is a moral, emotional, and often criminal issue that affects individuals, families, and communities. It's not just going to be your business alone when the worst happens. You know, the community will be involved, the police may be involved, everybody, your family members, they'll be involved. So tell me what privacy you're talking about. Beverly Hills, I see you. Thank you so much for the gift. So it's a private matter, at the same time it's a public matter. Because when these things happen, it will come to the public knowledge. And another misconception again is, oh, this one, I bet you've heard it loads of times. The Bible says women must submit to their husbands. Yes. And I believe Bible says that. But if you go to the verse before that, Ephesians 5:21, I believe, says submitting one to another in the fear of Christ. In the fear of Christ, if Jesus were to be there, would you throw that remote to hit your spouse's face or eyes? If Jesus were to be there with you in that marriage, would you raise your hand to hit that spouse of yours? Thank you, Tista, for autism. Thank you so much. Through the biblical submission, I'm not against it at all. But what are you submitting to? DVs? If you check that Bible passage, let me read even the other bits. Like I said, we don't want to be biased because there's so many passages of the Bible I can read. But this particular one says, Ephesians 5:25 says, husbands, love your wife, just as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for her. See the depth of love God wants you to exhibit to your spouse. I hate when I hear people just emphasize the wife submit to the husband. I know. Tista for autism, I see you. Good evening. And this thing has damaged a lot of marriage. They just pick what, wife submit, wife submit. Submit to what exactly? The authority of God they can see in your life, or you having your way? You. There's no Christ in that equation. And forgetting the fact that this woman submitted to you by even accepting to come and live with you as your wife. Men rarely see that as submission. They just want, okay, once you're in my house, sit down here, you must sit down. Stand up there, you must. Is that how God would have us treat one another? We need to be honest with ourselves. It's sad, but, it's a no misconception. Wife submit, wife submit. What about husband love? Is that how to love by raising hands? Is that how to love by punishing? Is that how to love by cutting off family, friends from your spouse just because you have the authority? Yes, you have to say so. Christ never abused. He never controlled or violated the church. He loved, protected, and sacrificed for the church. This is how he wants us to treat one another. We sacrifice for one another. We care for one another. We love and protect one another. You're meant to protect your spouse, but now you're the one putting them in harm's way. You're the one violating them. You're the one, controlling, being abusive towards them. That is not God's love. Another misconception quickly is they say because they like it. They stay because they like it. How can somebody like to be beaten just for maybe one thing they've done or said or what? Now, when it's not said, even animals want to be treated kindly. They stay because they like it. That's why we shouldn't judge people. That's, I said, sometimes these things happen subtly. And you find out that by the 10th year, it goes to another level. And you've been wondering for 10 years, you stuck by this nonsense. Hey, they've been manipulated over time. Remember that cycle I mentioned? Action speaks louder than, they will put you in, pull you in, tell you how much they love you. They will even cry and all that. And you will believe and trust. Before you know, 12 years is gone. And it's like, how did my life turn out to be this? So let's be mindful. Don't say, they stayed because they like it. No. Many victims stay out of fear because they know the spouse they have. They are afraid. You can't even talk to anyone. Who do you want to talk to when they've cut off everybody from you? A lot of them stay because of shame. everybody in my family, they were there for this wedding. They crossed the oceans, across the sea, and all of that. And now, for me to go back home and tell them, this marriage is not safe, or is this and that, what will my family say? I have disgraced them. This and that. And then they will stay because of shame. They will rather suffer that victimization because of shame. Lord help us. Is it financial dependency you want to talk about? They've stripped them of their job. They don't have any account to their name. Every penny must be accounted for before given out to them. And they will now be, okay, where do I begin from? No money, no nothing. Would I go and be a burden to my family, with my 3 children, with this and that? And the man too will be like, where would he has invested all his money. Where does he want to start from? Hey, if he goes back home and say, this thing has not worked, because who do I even tell my wife is abusing me? As a man, they say, are you not a man? Get a grip. Hey, easier said than done. God help us. God help us, really. Because they have concern for their children. They believe that if their children is not in that space, who will look after them? They don't have money, so their children will suffer. So they will continue to stay in that relationship, on that marriage relationship, despite the enormity of the DV they're experiencing. And again, talk about they stay because they like it. Some is because of spiritual guilt. Hey, my pastor, all those row of pastors that attended my wedding. Hey, where would I say that I am not doing again? Or my pastor that is always telling everybody, look at how this family is. We are good examples they show to everybody, not knowing that these things is not written on the forehead. You don't know what they are going through. So spiritual guilt alone can make them stay. Bible say this. Even they too will be convincing themselves with the Bible said this, the Bible say that. And you and I know that a lot of people have lost their lives because of this misconception. People need to speak out, or else there will be another statistics. I know. Oh, yeah, they don't want to be part of the statistics. Pardon me to speak Malankini Katibo. In my lineage, no woman has ever left the husband. In fact, no man has ever divorced the wife. All of those things, they rope you in. Where are we going to write these statistics? Tester for autism. They'll say, you know. And then when you think of that, it becomes so big and huge in your mind. You say, you know what? I'm coping. Maybe I'm coping. I will continue to cope. And you stay there. And then God forbid one day, just that one remote, it just hits you. Do you know some people carry, what is it called? Metal in their skull because of domestic violence in a marriage. Would you tell me this is God's intention for anybody in a marriage? No. Once again, I'm going to say here, if this talk is triggering whatever for you, please feel free to reach out to me after this live. I'm pleading, because sometimes we need that space to offload. And there's help available. I'm going to be mentioning some helplines when I finish this. If you need that, or you can take them, you can even Google and research yourself, depending on the nation you are in. I'm here in the UK. I'm going to mention some from UK and other, international bodies as well. It is well. God will help us. So let's look at the effects of domestic violence. The effects of it. Domestic violence has long-lasting consequences. It doesn't even just stop on you. Your children, if they are there, you may think your spouse is hiding stuff. These children see beyond what you think. They hear stuff. And they're growing in there. And you don't want to continue that cycle from one generation to another. So I've gone through it. I've had to get out for my mental health. Life has been better for me since. And that's one of the misconceptions. If you leave this marriage, life is over for you. And then you almost believe it. Hey, life outside here is death. Oh, life outside there, you will suffer. And then you don't stay. Thank you for sharing, Tista. Thank you. Let's look at effects of domestic violence, DVs. DVs has long-term consequences, like I said. It brings about depression, anxiety. That person is coming, your heart is beating for panic attacks just because you're in a marriage relationship. Should that be so, people? Should that be so? No, this is not God's plan. Say low self-esteem, my goodness. In fact, if there's anything lower than that, lowest self-esteem, which is my next point after the depression and anxiety. Low self-esteem. You lose who you are. You don't even believe in yourself anymore. It's like you're so inadequate at everything. You can't even carry pregnancy right. You can't even cook right. You can't even sit right. You cannot watch TV right. Everything brings problem. What has happened to this spouse? Low self-esteem. Yeah, that's the effect. They make you feel worthless, like I said. They make you feel like, without me in your life, you're nothing. You're nobody. And you almost believe in that. Another effect is the trauma and the post-traumatic stress disorder that comes with it. PTSDs. You're traumatized, you sleep, you're having nightmares, you sleep, you can't sleep, you can only sleep half an hour, here and there because you're traumatized. And then the disorder comes in and then it becomes a way of life. This is the effect. After so long, migraine will set in because you have not been sleeping well. Body aches or whatever it is from all the gbasgbos. The trauma, most times or sometimes, will not leave even after the situation has been dissolved or whatever. Let's be mindful how we treat one another. And it's even harder when you know you have a problem and you don't want to admit it, but you unleash your whatever on your spouse. It's not healthy. Another effect is a physical injury or chronic illness. Some people have damaged internal organs because of DV. They've so hurt their spouse that, in fact, imagine, I saw this movie some time ago, that this person said, I will be fine. Once you carry my baby, maybe I will not be this angry. And then this woman got pregnant. And then when the thing came up upon this man, he hit her, she fell on the floor, and with his pointed shoes, went straight for that baby in the belly. And I'm like, who on earth would do this to their spouse? Not just hitting her on the head, going straight for her belly. And yet you were saying, if you have the pregnancy, I will not be this hard on you, I will not be. And at the end of the day, is that pregnancy that is your target? Physical injury, a patch on the eye. They say, I just hit my face on the door. I didn't see clearly. There was no light. Never took light. You bring all sort of excuses. Some people have permanently lost their sight because of DV. Again, negative impact on the children. Even if they are not directly abused, it has this negative impact. Some will say, when I grow up, I don't want a relationship. Some may grow up in that space and be like, especially for ladies, like I said earlier, I've seen the way daddy treats mommy. One man will come and tell me nonsense. I will show them. And unknown to them, they've carried that abuse over. Even the man has not said one thing, bossa. As in, before you say, I would sound you kind of, and you find out that they turn to women abusers when they grow up. Say a leopard will never change its spot. Yeah, well. But we know that change can be achieved if intentional about it. If you're conscious about it, it will be a struggle, but it can be done. Maybe those people that like punching and all, they should get a punching bag in the corner. Once they feel so, they should just turn to that corner and punch the bag if they must, but not their spouse. Whether the man or the woman, put it there. Go and be punching that thing, not on your spouse, until you are able to control it better. Again, spiritual disconnection and confusion. Because you'll be thinking, but the Bible says God hates divorce. I can't divorce them. This and that. I'm against divorce, don't get me wrong. But I always say here, when your life is at stake, when there's no more safety in that marriage for you, you may have to leave for a season. Or you may even have to leave altogether. Let God be the judge of your marriage. Let God be the judge of your actions. Because God would rather you be alive and fulfill other purpose other than marriage. Out of that marriage is not out of the world. Do not believe lies. It's hard. It's painful. You don't want your children to come from a broken home. You don't want this and that. I'm a victim. I came from that. And I said to myself, I will not. God helping me, no matter how hard it gets, I will always remember certain words of God, especially for marriage, or the things God has opened my eyes to. I can vouch for me. I don't know what might happen tomorrow with my spouse or whatever, but as much as it lies with me, let me not be the perpetrator of this topic. God helping me. Because I do understand. Sometimes when I think back to my childhood days growing, I'm like, why would somebody, is it culture? Culture even does not help sometimes. And imagine some scenarios where even the women are bigger and muscular than the husband, and the man will be beating them. But because of culture, you must respect your husband. You must do this. She will not want to leave. Because if she stands once like this, the man can even pass out. But because of culture, respect, this and that, she had to just fold her arms and take the beating. Thank you so much. Oh, Susan, good evening. It is not so. That's not God, what he wants. So don't let the word of God even confuse you some more. That's why I say seek pastoral care. Seek spiritual counseling. No, let us not mix or mince, or I don't even know the grammar now, God's word. No, let's not turn it upside down to soothe the perpetrator. Children who grow up in an abusive home may repeat that cycle as victims or abusers. Some of them who saw that growing up, they end up allowing other people to do that to them, because if that's what they know is the right way to be loved. If your spouse has not beaten you, you're not loved. And it gets twisted. It's sad, but it's somebody's reality. So those children who grow up in that home, they can be victims when they grow up, or they can be abusers themselves. Why would I want my child to be a victim? Why would I want my child even to be an abuser? No. God help us. So now let's go there. What does the Bible say about this matter? How we treat one another, especially with this DV we're talking about. God is not silent on this matter at all. If you look at the Bible, it talks about, because when you're engaging in this act, you're being wicked. You're being wicked to your spouse. Psalm 11 verse 5 says, the Lord tests the righteous, but the wicked and the ones who loves violence, his soul hates. God hates those who like violence. So don't think you're doing it and is justified before God. Before this wife or this husband does, I'll put them straight. No. Please, you are not a Lord and jury God of all. You're not I don't even know what else to say now. God hates that act of wickedness and you being the perpetrator of it. He hates it. He hates violence. It's never a solution. Malachi 2:16 says, for the Lord God of Israel says, he hates divorce, for it covers one's garment with violence. God hates not just divorce, but the violence that often leads to it. God does not like that at all. Whether the man to the woman or the woman to the man. That is not his plan for marriage or for people engaging in that institution. We need to go back to the basics and learn the right thing. Get knowledge. In your getting knowledge, get understanding of how you ought to treat your spouse. People's lives ended needlessly because of DV. Children becoming orphans because of DV. Children's mental health battered because of DV. How much more the adults themselves? Proverbs 4:14-15 says, "Do not enter the path of the wicked. Avoid it. Do not travel on it. God desires peace, dignity, and honor in marriage, not fear and domination." No, I've never seen it where it says dominate your wife or dominate your husband. No. We should have dominion over everything he has blessed us with. The animals, the kingdoms, the sea or the whatever. Not over our spouses. Hereby Flaky, I see you. Good evening. We need to treat one another with peace, with dignity, with honor, with respect. Not fear and domination. No. No, no, no. Let's go back to that Bible and read through again. There's nowhere it says rule your home with fear, with domination. No. No. So what then should be done? If you are being abused, know that it is not your fault. It is not your fault. This person, obviously the abuser, has a lot of things they need to deal with. You're just a victim of this person's abuse. It's not your fault. And what should be done? Talk to someone you trust. I know it may be hard because they're watching you like a hawk, but there are ways. Pray for creativity of a way to help yourself. I've heard of a case where this person, their spouse will only allow them take the children to school and come back until they come back before they will go to work. It was that controlling. And then this woman said, oh, okay, wore the normal casual cloth. She had, talked with some other moms or whatever in the school and all that. And they've helped her, quickly. She went back. The man, of course, didn't suspect anything. Oh, it was time to go pick them up. And it was, are you there? This and that. The woman has carried her children and she's left the whole community altogether. She had to run with her children, run for her dear life. Let's see whether he will now go in the air and be looking for this person. Sometimes you might have to take drastic steps. The things that you should do to save your life and that of your children. Whether it's the man from the woman or the woman from the man. Talk to counselors, like I said, your pastors, your friend that knows. This friend will always want to check on you, but you keep ignoring them because once you pick and they say hello, you will just burst into tears. So you avoid them. Talk to someone you trust. And their support services, and they're a bit discreet about how they carry out the help so that your safety is number one priority and the safety of your children if children are involved, whether the man or the woman. That's why I said we're not gender biased here because a lot is happening in the world today. Again, you might have to start subtly what you have to do. Create a safety plan, mostly in your head. Don't write anything and leave it somewhere where they'll say, on the 15th, you're planning to run away. Ah, okay. And then on the 14th, that's when they say we're all traveling. And then you say, oh, you're traveling. You say, okay, you just push your plan forward and you now travel. They'll take you to a city where you know nobody. You can't even talk to anybody. And they've relocated you, just like that. So you need to be wise whilst trying to seek help for yourself. Thank you so much for the gift. Create that safety plan in your mind, a mental safety plan if possible, because you don't want to leave things lying about. Then seek professional help. Seek professional help. I've said this over and over. Abuse often requires more than prayer alone. Our people, it's not about prayer. It's a prayer without works is dead. So that work is what you have to do. God is ready to answer our prayers, but there are certain things we need to do ourselves, and then we'll now see the manifestation of the miracle. I want a job, for example, and I'm praying, I'm fasting. Father, give me a job. I've not prepared CV. I've not gone on Indeed or all those whatever to put my CV out. I'm just praying and fasting. Kabash. Yay, Jesus. Work. Give me work. heavens will just be looking at me. Are you for real? Where is your CV? What platforms have you put your CV? What agencies have you called? What have you done? Because prayer alone is not the way. Prayer works. I'm a fervent believer of prayer. But a prayer alone, when I pray and fast, even the things that I'm supposed to do that I've not done, I'm like, God, open my eyes, my ears to hear, to see that which you need me to do so that this prayer can be fulfilled. So do not be deceived, people. You go to your pastor. Some pastors say, go and pray. What should we say? You people, no, we did a wedding in a big way. Go and be praying. I will join you in prayer. And she will go back home. You may never see her again. He will go back home. You may never see him again. Or the next time you see him will be in the hospital. And again, we need to know our rights. I know that certain things are spiritual. Husbands need to be held accountable for their wives. Wives need to be held accountable for their husbands. But when things go pear-shaped in terms of domestic violence, you need to know your rights. There is no shame in protecting yourself and your children. Because if things were okay, you wouldn't even need to go and be reading what is your right, trying to find out what is your right, because things are okay, but things are not. You are not safe. Your children are not safe. And you must take good action. Otherwise, this thing will not just bounce back on you. I remember, in fact, some movies that I watch in Nollywood just coming to mind. This person wanted to aim the wife. She dodged the knife. Was it a knife or something? And the child was just right behind on the floor. Blood. Innocent child. And you would think this person have learnt. You better take that child to the hospital. See your fault? I'm like, no, this person obviously needs help. Because the harm might come to your children, not even you. And then where does that leave you? The pain, the trauma, the heartache. So know your rights. Know your rights in situations like this. Fine, you may have to get shelter or whatever it is you need to get. It's going to be hard. There's no easy way out, but there's always a way out. God helping us. And if you know someone being abused as well, don't judge them, please. Listen with empathy. Don't say, I've told you several times, leave that man. It's not that easy, and we get it. So you have to be strategic in your help for them. You can't judge them. You don't listen. You judge them, you sanction them and all that because you think they're not listening to your advice. Listen with empathy. Because if you were in that shoe, you don't know, you will be worse. Be licking their whatever. You don't know how you will react as well. So don't judge these people when they're telling you they're trying to offload. Some, they just need somewhere to offload until they offload before they will come to their senses and then take the right necessary step. But if you're there just judging them, making them feel worse than they feel already, you're not helping them. If you know someone being abused, be a safe, confidential support for them. That might just be what they need at that time in order to make up their mind how they're going to get out of that situation. Be safe. Be a safe, confidential support. Encourage them to get help as much as you can. And never tell someone, just stay and pray when they are in danger. Hey, if it's your child, would you say stay? Think about it. If it's your child, would you just say, just go back there and pray, okay? And you know that they're in danger. You may never see them again. A lot of parents, they're not even that old. They've lost their children. Adults, children, because of DV. No, in our own culture especially, no parents dare pray for them to be the one to bury their child. But a lot of parents have had to bury their children, their grown-up children, because of domestic abuse. Never tell someone, just stay and pray when they're in danger. You're not helping. In fact, you're putting them at risk some more. If you are the abuser, because this is where the balance is, acknowledge your behavior and stop blaming your spouse. Everybody, you cannot be angry now and you're blaming me for that anger. You have to learn to control it, because I cannot enter inside of you and control the wires, tighten them, or I can't do that for you. You need to acknowledge you have a problem and you're not handling it well. Stop being in denial of your actions, of your behavior. It's not going to help you. In the process, you want to hurt this person, you can even hurt yourself, and that's the end of your life. Have you thought about that too? We need to be mindful. Seek counseling and accountability to your spouse, most especially. They've held you. This behavior, and all they say, get over it, that's your problem, deal with it, and then it grows and grows until you put their life at risk. You cannot be held accountable for your actions for nothing, because it's never your fault. You made me do this, you made me. Hey Jojo, I see you. Shemo, I see you. If you're the abuser, ask God for healing and deliverance, because you really need it. This is not how he wants you to behave. Certain things may have triggered these habits in you, but if you're conscious and you're intentional about it, you seek the right help. And if you're spiritual, there's something called deliverance. Because in the place of going for deliverance, you will be taught, you will have to learn the right way of doing things. And then when you're sober, you see that this way of life has hurt you, has hurt your spouse, and you feel remorseful. It's easier that way to get deliverance. But when you're in denial, you're hard-hearted, your way is the way and all of that, hey, I don't know what kind of deliverance that will happen for you. And if you're the abuser, take responsibility. Stop making excuses. You're the cause of it. You made me do this. Oh my goodness. Who made you do what? Everybody is accountable to their feelings and their emotions, their reactions and their behaviors and their everything. He said two has become one. Yes. You keep blaming, you made me do this. Made you. How? Are you a puppet? Or are you what do you call this? I don't even know. Stop making excuses. Take responsibility for your actions and you might just get the right help. What if a man slapped his wife and the family turned and say he will change? Please advise. If it's one slap, let the family, no, I'm just being sarcastic now. Let the family gather and let her slap back. And then we're even, so it's okay. If that is how you want to be treating the thing, don't just look at it, whoever family member it is, that is just a slap. No, it has to be addressed. It has to be addressed. Question needs to be asked. What led to this? Why is this your solution to that scenario? Oh, she provoked me. Oh, they will make excuses for whatever. If it were to be the other way around, what would you call it yourself? Ask the person who is the slapper. Ask the slappee to ask the slapper why that slap is the solution. Do not push that under the carpet. It has to be addressed. And it's not a private matter when it gets to a certain stage. Because have you not heard some people, they got slapped and they can't hear anymore. So whose account are we going to put that? Because if it's not addressed that first time it's happened, it would happen again, sooner even rather than later. It has to be addressed and both parties need to talk about the situation way forward. In this home, no slapping of any sort. Whether adult, whether children, whether this and that. If it does happen, there'll be consequences. And you need to table that as well. Don't just accept that, oh, yeah, they've apologized. I told you that cycle. Calmness. They will even buy gifts and say, I'm sorry. Just give them 2 hours down the line. They've forgotten the sorry. They will slap even a bigger one. But no. No. And of course, you cannot end the marriage because of that slap. As I said, you need to sit down and address things. And address it and set things right there on and on. Everybody needs to know that there's consequences for their actions. There is always consequences for actions. Is it God's will that you slap your wife? And if you feel you don't believe in God, why are you in that marriage institution? Marriage institution was ordained by God. Where does it say in the Bible, slap your wife, slap your husband if they get you upset? It says anger lies in the bosom of fools. That means that husband is a fool. If you allow that anger to lie in your bosom to the point that you start acting DVs on your spouse. There's certain things society has made to be normal. Oh, it's just a slap? Oh, no, get over yourself. Hello? Do you want your child's husband or wife to slap them in your presence and say, well done for slapping her? Nah. So please let us address things before they become bigger than they are. Like I said, for the abuser, take responsibility. No more excuses. Enough is enough. Please, seek help. Seek help whilst you still have that marriage. God's intention is for us to enjoy the goodness of marriage. And when there's DVs and all of this abuse, there is no how we're going to enjoy that marriage. There's healing and there's restoration. I believe strongly in that. Recovery is possible with the right help, that is. Recovery is, I've heard of some will say, maybe 5 years into their marriage is basketball, spitting and all of that. And they got the right help, got the right knowledge about how to treat one another. They go on retreats, they go on trainings and stuff. And the man, 20 years down the line, will say, I don't know what came over me those 5 years. And they know that it's not a right way to treat their spouse. And this even becomes their thing. Once they hear somebody raise hand alone, let alone touch the wife, they're there to tell them of their own experience. How they almost lost their marriage. So, recovery is possible with the right help. And God is so close to the brokenhearted as well. Forever, like I say, if you're feeling some sort of distress or you're feeling triggered by this topic, please reach out to me. Reach out to me. I'm pleading with us because I know this thing is very deep and very sensitive. Psalm 34 verse 18 says, the Lord is near to those who have a broken heart. There is no shame in starting over. God would rather you be alive. Be alive to raise your children, whether as a single person or as a widow, in case or whatever it is. There is no shame whatsoever. Forgiveness and safety can coexist. Forgiveness does not mean staying in harm's way. By the way, I need to say that. Forgiveness does not mean staying in harm's way. You've forgiven. I heard of a pastor woman testimony years back at a retreat for women and said the beating was so much. I think she even lost her tooth or something, was so bad that, she too was fencing off everyone from knowing the thing and all. But eventually she managed to find strength and she left. And of course, they have children. And years later, she became like an advocate for women, in domestic violence, relationship and things like that. And then the children are grown and say, come and see. This man decided to, after they gone their separate ways, he now decided to go get help. And they're best of friends, but they cannot live together again. She said, but they're best of friends and they're still parenting their children. They're all grown now. So if you don't want that, you have chosen this person to spend the rest of your life with. Do good by each other. Fight them outside, not each other. Life alone is challenging by itself. And this is the person you're supposed to fight life with. But you're fighting them, abusing them, violating them, and you still want them to do life with you. How is that possible? In God's book, the author of this institution we're talking about. Let the church and society be a place of protection, not silence. Restoration, not judgment. I'm going to conclude by this. You can see the time is fast spent. Like I said, I'll be spending time in it. So Thank you for your patience, and thank you for all the engagement as well. So, in conclusion, domestic violence is real. It is very real. It is devastating, and it is never God's will. Never ever. Marriage should reflect Christ's love, not control, not abuse or fear. As individuals, as leaders, as believers, we must speak up, support victims, and break that silence. And I need us to remember, protecting someone from harm is not rebellion, it's wisdom. Addressing abuse is not dishonoring your marriage, it's honoring God's design for it, because we've gone out of God's design for that marriage. So, trying to find help, seek the right help, is honoring God's design for marriage. So, unfortunately, quite a bit of churches are silent about DV in marriage. I know. I'm a church girl. So let's talk about it here. This is our own church today. So let us continue to honor God's design for marriage. Let's be mindful how we treat one another, especially when there are conflicts, when anger is not managed properly and all of that. I've said more than enough today, but like I say, I don't have all the answers. I may not have covered all aspects. That's why I need us in this community to come and talk some more about it. We might just save a life out there today. You never can tell. So my question for us today is, why domestic violence in marriage? Why? And then the second one is, how do we cut off the cycle of domestic violence in marriage? How do we cut off the cycle? Remember I said it. How do we cut off cycle of domestic violence in marriage? And this is why I advocate that men get therapy. I know. Thank you, Leslie, for saying that. And hopefully some men would listen to your advice as well. So I'm going to mention several trusted organizations in the UK and devoted nations offering support, refuge, legal assistance, and counseling for individuals experiencing domestic violence. So this includes services for men, women, and special communities as well. So in UK, we have the National Support Organization. You can Google them. All of these names I'm going to be mentioning, you can Google them, find out how you can reach out to them if you need their services. There's in UK, you have Refuge. They're a major domestic abuse charity, and they offer 24 hours helpline. Their number is 0808 2000 247. 0808 2000 247. And there's Women's Aid as well. They provide survival support, online chat resources as well, and you can check out their the survivors handbook online as well. And there's another organization called Flows, finding legal options for women survivors. They help women access legal protection and advice. Like I say, you can Google them, search about them. And again, there's another one called Victim Support. They offer 24/7 free emotional and practical support for all victims of crime, generally including domestic abuse. Save Lives, UK-wide charity providing guidance, risk assessment tools, and victim support information as well. And the last one there is the National Center for Domestic Violence, NCDV. They provide free rapid injunctions, legal aid, and protective court orders. So search on them and get help that you need. For others, you have support for survivors from BME communities. You know that. Let me not spell it out here. Southall Black Sisters, they are there. They specialize in support for Asian, Afro-Caribbean, and Black women, including legal and housing advocacy if you need them. Sister Space is another organization. They're London-based charity serving women and girls of African and Afro-Caribbean heritage. London Black Women's Project as well is there. They offer refuge services, counseling, and support in multiple languages for BME survivors. That's black minority ethnicity or something like that. Then Shakti Women's Aid, they're there. They provide trauma-informed support and refuge for BME women in Edinburgh and Lothians. And the Lothians, as I said, the Angelo Center is also there. They're located in Newcastle. They offer counseling, legal advice, and support for Black, Asian, minority, ethnic, and refugee women. So there's always help available. Support for male victims, because I bet you will say women, this. Okay, so there's support for male victims as well. You can get in touch with Men's Advice Line. They have confidential helpline and support for male victims of domestic abuse. Their Men's Advice Line, so you can look out for them as well. There's Mankind Initiative. They provide helpline, local referrals, campaigns, and training specific men. They train men specifically who are experiencing abuse as well. Then there's the special population situations. There's a lot. I'm just saying them, but you can always Google them. Hourglass is there. Karma Nirvana is there, or Halo Project. There's Paladin National Stalking Advisory Services, and so many others that you can reach out to if you need help. But please get help when you need them, because it's very important you stay alive, to fulfill your destiny. Thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate every single one of you. Thank you. Let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh, inside. Well, thank you guys for listening in, and I want to believe as many that are out there listening, especially those needing help when we're talking about DVs, please do not feel it's a shameful thing. Please send your invite. Let's talk some more about this, at least before we go to sleep tonight. We may just help one or two persons out there experiencing domestic violence. It's never a shameful thing to want to save your life. I mean, if marriage is not worth living in, you don't want to die in there. That is not God's plan. And it takes two to tango in that marriage. Maybe one partner wants help and all of that, but the other partner is not willing. So you can imagine how difficult that situation may be. But whichever way, as long as your life is not at risk, as long as you're not being fiscally damaged all the time, you might just be okay. But if all of these things I've talked about is happening, please do not justify anybody's behavior, especially when it's causing harm to yourself. So please send an invite. Let's talk some more about this. I see. Thank you so much. 8:13. Let's see, which one am I going to click on, because I see two of your accounts here. Thank you guys for joining in. I see every single one of you. 8:13. Which one would you prefer? I'll click two, and please come in with the one you prefer. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Good evening once again. Happy Thursday. You're first in my box again. I just clicked randomly, but yeah, I might just start with you today. How are you? Happy Thursday.
I'm good. Happy Thursday to you. Happy Thursday, everyone.
Thank you.
How's your week been?
Well, it's been somewhat relaxing because I'm on holiday, so to say, even though I've not gone anywhere, but yeah, somewhat relaxing.
And you survived the weekend, because last week you said you were going to be pretty busy.
Oh my, you should see me on Monday. I was like a log of wood. The marathon, I'm like, oh, in fact, you don't even want to know. No. That Monday, I said no. God helping me. I didn't crawl out of bed until maybe around 2 o'clock. I'm like, no, this body needs to. I'm telling you, it was that bad. So thank God. I only think I did something active when it was getting towards the time to come live. Otherwise, I said no. And every day there's always one task to do at home that I've not attended to for a while. So you can imagine. But yeah, all well and
Yeah,
good.
you need to.
Thank you. I hope your week has been good as well.
Well, so far so good. Nothing special.
Yeah. So I mean, I've said as much as I can. I don't know how much of the talk you heard. We're here today.
Like the last 15 minutes.
Okay, so the topic is there.
My kind, I'm echoing. I don't know whether you can hear that or is that just me?
No, I think it's your side. Let me see.
Just give me 2 seconds. Okay, I think it's fine now.
Yeah, it's okay.
So I heard the last 15 minutes, but with the DV banner, I can kind of maybe pick it up from there. So what is your first question? Because generally I think you asked two
I
questions in
always do.
succession.
So even if you miss the talk, I mean, you should be able to. So the first question is, why domestic violence in marriage? Why? Do you want me to ask one after the other, or?
Yeah, I think it's just easier for me so that I don't rub off on the second question.
Yeah, it's okay.
I think it boils down to frustration. When one party feels that the other is not meeting their needs. In marriage, we all have expectations
Yeah.
from the other person, whether good or bad, because really, I think if a lot of us think of marriage as a partnership, it makes life a lot easier. Because if you look at it from the position of we're partners in this, we're in this together, then you're not taking score of this person did this, I did this, you didn't do that. So I think it's really, really from frustration. The other cause I think is really I I'm trying to see where I can get this from, but I think the other one is just from just lack of love, I guess. I think that is it. Maybe there was love initially, but it drained out. It wasn't rekindled. But I think when the love dries up, then that is an area where domestic violence can get into the relationship. Because I find it difficult to believe that you can be in love with someone and you can actually hit that person. Yes, domestic violence is mostly carried out by men, but I think women also take part in domestic violence. I think from a female's perspective, it is less obvious.
Yeah.
It is more an underlining form of violence. And not that I condone domestic violence in any way, shape, or form, but if two people are arguing, my question is, what happened that caused that person to react that way?
Maybe they're not having
Because
their way or their say heard.
maybe, yes, but I always ask the question, why? Why did this action happen? What caused it? What caused that thing that led to the other thing? Because it's always very easy for, oh, he abused me, he did this to me, he did that to me. What did you do to trigger him off? It's always a question. Not like I said, I'll start the conversation by saying I don't condone domestic violence.
See what Leslie wrote. Said DV behavior does not begin in marriage. True.
Yes. It could be something the person grew up with in their background as well. And it became normal for them and they didn't address it. But
Sheon, let me ask you, based on what you just said before this
yeah,
statement you made. So
yeah.
we're married now, and you annoy each other, whatever. Maybe I said something that really hits you, and not that you don't love me, but you just stood up and came for me with that hand.
I personally I think something must have been brewing. I can't, everybody is different, but I think for a for a male to get to that level, you must have said something really, really bad.
So, but is it
So
justified?
no, it's not justified. It's not justified. And DV shows a lack of control on the person carrying out the
You
action.
just said it.
It's lack of control. You are not able to gather your emotions. You are not able to look at the situation. You are not able to talk to yourself. You are not able to control yourself. You are not
Look
able
at
to
look at
walk
what
away.
hair by Flaky said. So what if that person is detailing or dealing maybe with their manager at work? What will that person do? Would you go for the slap for your man? You
No,
gonna
I mean,
slap your manager because they are not
you,
talking they're talking nonsense.
it's funny. It's funny that we have an issue with our spouse, and we can easily raise our voice or we
Really,
can
okay.
hit them. But if you're in the office, no matter how angry you are with your manager, you don't do that. It's amazing when money is in the equation, people can control themselves. You
Hey,
know.
is that your take?
No, think about it. A lot of people don't do it with their boss because they know they're going to get fired. So how come you can control yourself in
So
the
you're not even
office?
afraid your wife can say, I don't want to marry you because you raised your hand.
No, no, no. Of course I do. Of course I
Hey.
do. Of course now. In the UK, you go to jail now. You know. But on a more serious note, because you've been saying a lot of deep stuff in the last 20 minutes, and I'm not trivializing it in any way, shape, or form. I think if you get to the level where you feel you have to hit the other person, if you get to the level where you have to lie against the other person as a result of your actions, then you've lost control. And that is a you problem, not a them problem. A lot of the issues that we have stems from the fact that we can't control ourselves. We blame everybody else but ourselves. And you find out that the moment you start getting better at controlling yourself, life just gets better. It just does. A lot of us can't control each other. And that's where like Leslie said in the past, this is where therapy kind of helps you. It helps you bring to your attention your flaws, what you need to work on, how you need to get better. Because ultimately, you can only control yourself. There are days I come back from the office and I'm not in a good mood. It doesn't mean that I come home and I start lashing at
Come
everybody.
on, take it out on everybody at home.
Exactly. Exactly. If I need to tell everybody I had a bad day, I'm not in a good place, give me like 5 minutes, or I need to just be by myself for 30 minutes. That's fine. I've notified everybody. Then my job now becomes going away and just resetting, because you don't want to take the stress from the office home and the stress from the home to the office. But it is control. You need to learn to better control yourself, because most of the time it is not that person. There is already maybe something bubbling inside you, and that person maybe just triggered it. But it's not that person's
Fault.
fault. You have issues you have not dealt with. So it's a case, for example, if I don't know, somebody's cheated on and they go into a new relationship, and all of a sudden they're superimposing their ex on the new person who hasn't even committed any
Real
offense,
offense, I
but
know.
because they have not dealt with those issues, they bring it into a new relationship. It's something like that. So most of the time when people attack someone else, there is an underlying issue they have not dealt with. For men in particular, from what I've seen and what I've read about, and nobody should quote me on this, generally men get very violent when they feel betrayed by their spouses. for and I don't know if Leslie or any male there could, you know, add to what I have to say. Maybe when they get to talk, a
But
man can.
as you said that, no, I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I just
No, no, it's
pictured
fine.
a woman that is three times bigger than a husband. I don't think when he's
No,
angry, he will not learn to control himself.
well,
I'm
there,
sorry, but
there are there are different setups. There are different setups.
yeah,
Um, but I think for men generally, it's when a man feels betrayed by the spouse,
yeah.
maybe she cheats on him. Those are the things that can get a man because we're pretty possessive, and those a lot of men can
That
forgive their wives.
probably.
Well, maybe that's not the right word, but you know what
No,
I
no, no, no.
mean.
I'm
Maybe
not
that's
against that. I'm surprised you could say that because men generally may not fully beat their chest to say what you just said.
No, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Generally, I'm talking generally here. I don't have any stats. I'm just talking based on
I know.
my short life experiences and life knowledges. A man can forgive his wife stealing from him, i.e., she goes and she squanders money, but he will find it difficult to forgive her if she slept with somebody else and he found out.
Wow.
If that makes sense,
Yeah, it does.
women on the other hand can easily forgive a man doing that. I'm not justifying it in any
No,
way,
I
shape,
know.
or form.
Yeah, I
And I'm
know.
just saying that because we're built different, there's some things that can get. Those are one of the few things that can get a man violent.
Okay. Okay.
You know. So I think yeah, that's it. But ultimately, it stems from lack of control.
Okay.
And some women, words are powerful,
It is.
and men are not as good with words as women in terms of, will I say, abuse. If a man is very, very angry, he'll keep quiet and rather punch you than abuse you. A woman, because they're not as physically strong, they have all the best words to
Their
abuse you
mouth.
with and poke you as much as possible. So I think that's where female abuse comes from. They are very, very good with words. And when
Verbal abuse, yeah.
when things get out of hand, the woman is like, I didn't do anything because words, there are no evidence. I didn't do anything. And when the guy says, "Oh, he called me this," people will look at him like, "Is that why you slapped her?" And it kind of just doesn't measure up. So female abuse is more with words, is more with underlining actions, the subtle disrespect, the belittling of the man, and those things they do pile up. And when a man can endure it, then they lash out.
Okay.
So
Thank you for
I think that's my take on the first
yeah,
question.
okay. So the second question is how do we cut off the cycle of domestic violence in marriage?
I think therapy is one way.
Okay.
I think you need God,
Don't
because
we all?
everybody has different demons and I'm using demons figuratively. Everybody has
Or
different
as the
demons
Bible
that,
puts it, a sin that so easily besets us.
yeah. And we all have one thing that we deal with, or we're not very good at, or we've always dealt with, or we've always managed. You know, you have to know where your flaws are, and you have to actively be working on those things
Yeah.
on a regular basis. I think, and ultimately forgiveness. Forgiveness. If you truly forgive somebody, then you wouldn't lash out and you know be resentful or hit out at that person. So
Yeah.
yeah, forgiveness is key. These days everybody's well, maybe not everybody, the environment is not very, things are moving very fast.
Yeah.
There's so much to do. There is, and you finding time for yourself is key. as much as you are in a relationship, you must find time and space for yourself to gather your thoughts, to heal, to reinvigorate yourself, and to be a better person. You everybody needs to work on themselves till the day they die.
That's true.
Everybody. And what happens with a lot of us is we get married, and once we're married, we're okay. We think we're
Let's
fine.
go. We let go of all
Let's
those.
go. Yeah, we think there's nothing else to do. But that's when the work just started. Because now you're living with a completely different person with different outlooks, with different goals, with different values, and you're trying to work together and go on this journey called life together with that person. But if you feel and you know that this is your person and you can remember why you chose to marry that person, I think no matter how angry you will get, if you always remember where you two started from,
Very important.
I think that it helps bring down the anger. And I think I said it last week. No matter when anything hits you in a bad way, you're very angry, just pause. Just pause for a bit. Just don't say anything for 5 minutes. That 5 minutes might seem like an eternity, but just pause.
Yeah.
And a lot of fights can be avoided with the occasional pause, not saying what comes to mind immediately.
When annoyed, yeah.
Exactly.
Sometimes
That
you have
goes
to
a very
swallow it.
exactly. Just pause. Don't do anything. But we find it difficult. And like I said, that 5 minutes might seem like an eternity. But if you're successful, you'll see that you avoid a lot of chaos. You avoid a lot of problems. You
Yeah.
mitigate a lot of issues that way.
Okay.
So I think that's my take on it.
All right. Thank you, Sheon. Thank you so much. Lord will help us indeed. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Amen.
Susan, I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you because I know, like I said, it's a sensitive topic, but dare we talk about it here on Insight? Because people are suffering in silence, people are ashamed to talk about it, people are shying away, people feel, oh no, what will my church say? What will my spiritual person? But they're going through this and it seems like a dead end. They don't know how to even seek help and all of that. But it can be done. It can be done. I'll really have to try and post the talk as soon as I can, because others I believe that are not here that may need it will watch it eventually. So thank you for your contribution. Susan, I'm coming to you next. Good evening. At least I know you're on holiday, so you're relaxed today.
I'm not on holiday. I'm at work. Good evening.
I thought you said you were in a month holiday or something.
Uh, I wish it comes
Someone
like
you?
that.
Did they summon you? I
I
see.
have to come back.
Oh,
Yeah, I came back yesterday anyway and went to work. I'm at work at the moment. So,
well, you
good
can talk.
evening, everybody. Yeah.
Can you talk briefly? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Or can somebody talk? Let me just tidy up something.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right, thank you, thank you. Tista for Autism, I see you there. You're next in my box. Good evening. And I
Hello,
really I
everyone.
love the way you were engaging when I was giving the talk. Thank you so much for your contribution so far. But we want to hear from you. Good evening and
Good
welcome.
evening. Good evening. Where do I start?
From the very beginning.
I know domestic violence is a very sensitive topic because I've um I've been on the receiving end,
Oh,
but
sorry
in
to
my
hear.
case, it wasn't more of the physical aspect. It was more of the mental bit
Oh, okay.
that people cannot really prove
Hmm.
because it's like more of him saying, "Oh, just saying negative stuff to me is like it was really affecting my
Yes,
mental health." So it's like I had to tell myself that I had to leave because then I started having high blood pressure, which wasn't good for my health. So it's like I had to leave, and I just pray that when my boys, because I have three boys, when they get married, they won't do the same thing to their wife. That's just my prayer. Because they were old enough to see what their dad was doing, and I just pray that they will not pick up on it.
Amen to that. Thank you. But why do you think domestic violence, why is it easily done in a marriage? Or, well, if it's not easily, but it occurs in marriages. So I remembered, let me go back to the beginning because I had to break it down. What domestic violence is: physical abuse, verbal abuse, emotional and psychological abuse, which is the one Tista just mentioned, sexual abuse, financial abuse, spiritual abuse as well. I mean, to cut them short, there are others. So, why do you think is a go to for any husband, any wife, really? Because there should be love in that space.
I would say
Regardless.
it's more of a cultural thing, kind of like from where we're coming from Nigeria. Some men think it's okay to do it. It's that's the way our parents did it and they're still alive. So I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's time for the women to stand up and say enough is enough.
Well, I want to believe real men out there are listening, and they will do the needful in case they found themselves, in this act. God will really help you, strengthen you. So, Tista, what do you think? How do we cut off that cycle of domestic violence in marriage?
Maybe counseling from both the couples. They should go for counseling and also anger management
Oh,
and find out why is the guy going through, why is the,
violent.
yes, it could
Or
be maybe
whoever, it could be the woman as well. Why
yes,
are they?
vice versa. Maybe they will find out the root of the issue because maybe something must have triggered him or her to behave like that. It could be they had a bad day at work that they are come home and they'll take it out of
On
on
this
the,
one.
yes. Or it could be maybe they think they can't meet up with the financial responsibility. Or it could be maybe low esteem. They feel they are not good enough. They think by being aggressive, you make them feel like a man. It could be 1,001 reasons.
Wow. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. So many reasons why, and there are also many things we can do to cut off that cycle of domestic violence in marriage. There's so many things, but I'm going to let us speak. So I'm coming to you, Hair by Flaky. Good evening. You're welcome to Insight. I hope you're good. Hair by Flaky, I hope you're there.
Yes, I'm there, but I'm at work. I'm so sorry. Maybe I
Oh,
could come back later.
as well. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
maybe I
Okay,
could come
thank
back
you.
later. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Kenneth, I'm coming to you. So I'm just going in that order of people in the box. Good evening, Kenneth. I hope you are good. Thanks for joining us again today. I hope it's not at work as well, because I know quite a number of people join when they're at work. And I really do appreciate that. Kenneth, can you speak, or you can type in there if you can't, but if you can, please unmute and let us hear you. Okay. Okay, I take it at 8:13. I greet you. Good evening to you. So Leslie, that means you're the next person I'll speak with then. Good evening, Leslie. How are you doing? Happy Thursday. Please do not mute on me as well.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I was actually thinking I will be speaking about half an hour, but this is early for me now. Okay. I
Oh,
will quickly say I want to say.
okay.
Yeah, as everybody has shared really good stuff. Um, as the other person that spoke last said, it's a sensitive topic.
It is.
Um, it is a sensitive topic, and unfortunately, it does happen. And today, now, it's no longer. It used to be male dominated. I remember in the 80s here in the UK. I remember as a child. I remember they took us to a refuge center, and that was because of that time we used to go to Catholic church. It's the
Oh,
first time I've seen women's shelter. This was maybe 88 or 89, and I'll never forget what I saw. It was really, I mean, it was horrific. And this was in the 80s, to see that up close and, just see that in real life. So that one, I think, was my first time seeing a women's shelter. I think maybe I was 11 or 12, I can't remember, when we visited to our Catholic church, because they had like a shelter for women for who are escaping domestic violence at the time. So, but now it's changed, and I'm not surprised it's changed because if you think about it, if somebody was born at that time or even earlier, they witness their parent doing that, especially the men doing that, and it's a woman and it's a girl child. By the time they grow up to be the age I am, they're going to be having a different perspective. They'll be like, that's not going to happen to me. I'm going to do this and that. So it's no surprise today. I'm not surprised today that we're seeing now, even women committing DV of some sort. Is not surprised at all. But I think the evidence shows that men for a long time did this for a very long time, and it's only now that we're seeing the result and the fruit of this problem crossing, now becoming no longer gender specific.
yeah.
But that said, the thing is that it's a behavior. I think that's one thing I want to stress. It doesn't start in marriage. You see it in marriage because you are as a human being, you're going to be yourself, and in the home environment, you will reflect that behavior. So if you have a hot temper, or you lack control in terms of how you handle your emotions, your temperament, in a marriage, you're going to manifest that behavior. There's nothing you can, unless one decides to work on it. It's a behavior, and if something is triggering something, it means that that situation is not resolved. They haven't healed. They haven't worked on it. It hasn't been dealt with. And one thing I want to say is unfair. It's unfair for any spouse to expect the other spouse to know what is going to trigger them or not. The whole point is that you as a human being, we should create an environment where we are safe and secure in each other's presence. That should be the standard. Our home should be a safe space. But again, if you don't have that mindset, or one was not raised to think that that was normal, then your home is just another extension or whatever you are feeling or environment you are in that you want to project or carry out those problems. So if you grew up in a home where you weren't safe and you didn't feel safe, more than likely you will probably carry that attitude if you didn't have anything to confront or to let you know that that is not normal. It's not a normal thing. But sometimes a culture can be formed as well. Unfortunately, certain cultures can make one feel it's okay to have DV. It depends again. So that's why when I was in a men's meeting recently in church, and I heard certain things, and I was thinking, these people haven't done their homework or research. It's just seeing things from an outward perspective. They haven't really understood why this happens. And it was the case of they were saying that in a Muslim culture, the women don't complain and the men have their way. And I'm like, you're not in that environment, one. And number two, they do complain, you just don't hear it.
Exactly.
It's not portrayed. Trust me, I've been in those environments. I've seen it happen. Even we had the opportunity to stay in Saudi Arabia for a while, and they do complain. You just don't hear it. It's shut down, but they do complain. They do. They have places they go to, but you don't see that. It's not talked about. And there's a reason why Saudi Arabia now allow women to drive. That's been something that they've been talking about. So if they weren't talking, it wouldn't happen. But that's aside. Some societies is a culture, and it's a male-dominant culture. So it appears that the men are having their way. It appears that
Daddy said African culture don't really see anything wrong in it like that.
yeah, I
Maybe in
get
the
it.
past, because on
I
some
think
of
it's
our
changing now.
awareness,
I think even Nigeria now, again, like I said,
awareness.
education and technology is changing that. Technology, especially now with social media, is making people more and more aware across the line. That's why in certain countries they are banning social media, because they know that it's bringing perspectives,
You can't
or
speak to someone.
things that they will not normally accept in those cultures. Yeah, so even in Nigeria, some of those things are beginning to change. They're beginning to have some effect, because social media is opening that world to women that is not acceptable. That they don't have to accept it. But I think in some environments, it's still a culture. DV is still a culture, unfortunately. I have some family members, unfortunately, that DV is a problem, and unfortunately the men refuse to stop. Even when you confront them, they still don't think it's a problem. They feel they have a right to, quote unquote, discipline the significant other.
But it's because of what they know. That's what they saw
Yeah,
growing up. And you can't tell them otherwise. Like,
they can't tell them otherwise. Yes, I
word
know.
otherwise.
And it's very sad. It's very sad. It is very, very sad, because I almost think that, as much as I think there's a scripture. It's in the book of Ecclesiastes. I think it's chapter 4. It says that the oppressor, they are oppressing people, but they didn't have a comforter, and the oppressed were being oppressed, but they had no comforter. So basically, what he was trying to say, that even the people who are oppressing, they don't have peace in their life. There's no comfort in their life. So even as they are oppressing, they are not getting any peace out of it. They're not getting any comfort out of it. Though they think that they are winning, they're not. So it's a funny behavior that in your home you're not getting the best out of everybody with that kind of lifestyle. Sad to say, but yes, and I think I think there's a lack of education, especially in Nigeria. Yes, people might be aware, but there's a lack of actual education that says this is wrong and this is why, and to show what needs to be done to correct that behavior, and why it's not acceptable for anyone in any situation. But even in Nigeria now, I know one family where the woman was dealing with her husband, but we know it's because we know that her father was abusive to the mom. We know that, so we were not surprised that she deal with her husband. Like, really deal with this man to the point that this man actually ran away from the house. And it's Nigeria, not here, in Nigeria. So it is something that it needs to be discussed. It needs to be dealt with, and that's why I feel, even on a general basis, that especially the men who have seen it, they need to go for therapy. Like I said, for me, in my boarding school, 95% of the guys I went to school with, they all should go for therapy, because the things they did and the things that were done to them, I can't say it on this group. I can't say it. But what happened to some of us in boarding school, boy, the atrocities, and the fact that some of them actually entered very successful careers, but carried that thing unresolved. And then you're wondering why your mind is not, it's not working out well for you, or you're thinking that I'm spending all this money, I'm putting money, and because there are some emotional problems that you are just exhibiting, and you don't see anything wrong with it, because they have been suppressed. So for me, I look at them like, all you all need to go for therapy. Sorry, it's just standard, because I know what happened to us. I know exactly what happened to us, and there's no one can tell me different. And that's not even talking about their family or their upbringing from their home. That's just boarding school alone. We haven't even dealt with some of us that our parents divorced and we saw some horrible before they divorced, how they behave. Hey, God have mercy. So it's a shock that I'm also surprised today where people are struggling in relationships now and are not looking to see where is it coming from. I just want to leave it there, but I think it's a
Yeah,
good
maybe
topic. I think it's
you
something
should
that
answer well. How do we cut? I know you said therapy, but maybe there's some others that you missed out. How do we cut off that cycle of domestic violence in marriage?
I think I believe the strongest is awareness. There should be some sort of social awareness. Like I said, the first time I went to a women's shelter, I still remember the image today of one of the women. She was bruised from head to toe. Bruised. I still remember this up to today, that shelter experience. And I just feel that the awareness did something for us. There was at that time, okay, it was four of us then, but the last one was a baby. So I can't say he was just maybe about 6 months old. But for us, the three of us, I don't know about my two brothers, whether they let anything, but for me, that image still I see it till today. So I really believe that the biggest thing is awareness. There needs to be some sort of information that, especially in our Nigerian society, and I don't think it's just Nigeria, I think a lot of African countries have it because I think there's a lot of internalized pain that has not been resolved, whether it's from colonialism or just the way we treat ourselves or the leadership issues, and it all trails back to the family of how people will take their problems and just lash out on the family, and that's the best they know to do. But I think that if there's an awareness program on a project that really highlights this thing and tells people and shows people that doesn't have to be, it might not work immediately, but I can if it takes 2, 3, 4 years, then within a generation, at least the next generation will begin to unlearn or at least know, no, this is we don't deal with it like this. There are better ways for us to deal with these situations and will no longer lead to DV in a marriage situation. So I think awareness and an education to expose this problem and to show that there are better ways to deal with these emotional lapses. Yeah, I think that would be a great way to start that, a good campaign.
Yeah, thank you. You know, as I was gonna press my chair, I just remembered, I don't know how many of us, maybe you were in Nigeria then, when there was this national awareness about war against indiscipline. Why? Anyone still remember what why back in the day, war against indiscipline, that it went national, they made
I
this.
remember that one.
They
I
remember
remember that.
the song. In fact, it was about that time my father even launched his album then. Why he had this Yoruba song. I remember why ọ̀rọ̀ why tíjọba wá ṣe kára ilé wí fún toko, like there was a big massive national awareness about war against indiscipline. So maybe something like that, they can bring it back. So I think a lot of marriages will be safe. Yeah. So maybe that we have to be intentional, put it in the public domain, advertise it, you to share it on your social media. Let's shout it out loud. And some people, their body will start getting uneasy, and somehow they would realize that they need to make a change. Because that's why I say it's not a silent topic at all. And when these things happen, it's not just that marriage is going to affect, it will affect everybody. Everybody, their neighbor will take part of it. Their neighbor might not even know peace whilst the DV is going on, because sometimes they think, oh, the four walls, all that is happening, nobody knows. Meanwhile, the neighbor, they are hearing stuff. How much more the children in the house? God will really have to help us. And I want to put this out here before I forget. Premarital counseling. And again, if you're the type that is anger, I don't know what else causes you to just lash out and commit this atrocity, go for therapy. Look for a CBT therapist, cognitive behavioral therapist, because your mind and your behavior needs to be reset. So go for CBT Therapy, if you're out there and you're listening and you're wondering, okay, counseling, what counseling? There's so many types of counseling that can help. But that one generally deals with cognitive and behavioral therapy. So seek a CBT counselor or therapist. Let them help you. And you have to be open and plain. Everything you might be hiding, being in self-denial, you have to open up in that space so that they can help you get to the root cause of whatever is causing you to unleash your anger on your spouse, or commit this DV we're talking about on your spouse or on your children. It's not an easy journey, but it can be done. It can be done with the right help. Please seek help. Seek help. I've given a lot of organizations that help, helplines, 24 hours, 7 days a week helpline. Do your research as well. If you're the one actually needing that support to changing your behavior, whatever it is. And for victims as well, of course, help is available. Thank you, Leslie, for always reiterating that counseling for men especially. Thank you so much. I don't know who else is ready to talk because I've missed out Susan. I've missed out Hair by Flaky and Kenneth. Otherwise, I'll have to come to Debbie. Healthy ways of expression and communication. Exactly. There's so many things we can learn. We can unlearn and relearn the right way. And when you bear in mind that you're passing this on to the next generation, please, let pride not make you not do the needful. So if you guys are not ready, I might have to bring some of us down to bring other people in because I'm getting some requests. Susan,
Yes, I'm ready.
okay, all
Yeah.
right, please.
Good evening, everybody.
Oh,
DV.
thank you,
I
Leslie.
know, like we've all been saying, is a sensitive topic.
Yeah.
It's something that we don't just say it out of our head because, or it's not something we just talk about because we want to talk about it. If we have people that have really experienced it,
Okay.
they can tell us more. And then sometimes we take DV to be just the violent side,
No, we've
the
given all sorts.
beating and all
All
that.
sorts, yeah.
There's more to it. There are lots of people that are in the marriage, they're not enjoying the marriage. They're just living like
13.
they're just cohabiting together. And every day is baz booze, with words, unleashing evil
I
words
know.
against one another. It's so bad. And I think the cause of this thing is just people that they've not really shown love to. You bring up a child without love. And most of us now, if I ask, when last did you hug your parents? It's not normal because we didn't grow up in that line of hugging our parents. But you see these days, our kids, they hug us like mad. And sometimes they're like, hey, please, because you're not used to it. I remember somebody, every time the husband is always nagging. He said, I know, say they no bring you from, your mama no teach you love. You're not brought up in love. Now you've seen somebody that wants to teach you how to love. You are fighting the person. It's really sad, and there's a lot sometimes from experience. I would say probably I didn't go through that Basbos kind of
I see you back.
DV, but attitude wise, words were thrown.
Yeah.
You could tell it's not because the person didn't have that self control, but probably because of what the person is going through as well. Sometimes people give up in life, especially when you're sick, and you feel that, what am I? What, after all, what else? He who is down fears no fall. That kind of, you're like, okay, because Because I'm saying from experience, he was sick, and the nearest person he could just give his basbos to was me. Not beating, but every little thing just gets him angry.
Trust.
Even when you try to talk, I know this sickness, it's not unto death. Even if it's unto death, why don't you live your life to its fullest before death comes knocking? But when you've already given up in life, that can make, down to my son, everything just got, he was just angry over everything.
Susan, I do get you, and the reason why I'm going to say this is for the benefit of those listening out there, because there's always two ways or many ways we can react to certain things. Is what you're describing that brought this to mind. This
Yeah.
person found out that they have little time to live, and all the children that have been estranged, he brought all of them. He wanted to make peace. All he was after was peace before his last breath. So I think it depends on that individual
On the
person.
individual, yeah. There's always two sides,
Yeah.
the good and the bad side. So some people react negatively, while some react positively. So it just depends on the individual, especially if you know God as well, and you just want to like make peace. Even the Bible say, "Be at peace with all men." But some people don't really understand that line. It's so difficult to simulate to say, "Be at peace with all men." So I've hold on.
Okay. Yeah. It's amazing that there's so many reactions we can bring to one particular scenario, and our reactions will stem from the core being of us or in us. I don't know how to put this. If generally I'm a peace loving person, even though I'm angry, the things that I would do would be some sort of peace in a way, if you get me. And if generally I'm somebody that is always angry, because I've been cheated and all that, I'm standing in that. Anything that comes, I will give you back fire for fire without even pausing and thinking and stopping. That response, is it what is needed right now? Because the truth is, and that's why I always still come back to communication. What is going on for you that your spouse does not know? Because some people, even no matter how nice your words are, you will still trigger something negative in them and they will react. So carry on, please. I'll just try to hold it.
Yeah, sorry, somebody came in. I had to like attend to them. Yeah, so it's really, really difficult. So when you ask the question, what really causes that in marriages, I think communication. Some people don't know how to communicate.
With words.
Even when the Bible says soft words, drives wrath. But the way we respond to our spouse sometimes can trigger. I have a friend, both of them, when they are communicating is like fire. But when I come in, even the children, they're like, how come daddy listens to Auntie Susan? I'm like, probably is the way you dish out your words. I've learned over the years to like, how will I receive it? How will I feel if somebody is harsh to me with words? Some people are very sensitive with words. Some people don't care. They just say it. I know it's good to say it the way it is, but always think about the other party. It's difficult, but with our kind of generation and the kind of topics we discuss, I just hope that we relate it back in our home, because that will help the next generation. Not just in our home, in our day-to-day living, at work, in a church, everywhere we find ourselves. And then when you say people, sometimes you say people don't like to talk about their home to church. They're like, you see these church people? No, no, no. I will tell you, church people broke my mother's marriage because of advice. This in code, submit, submit. When you submit, you are suffering. I'm like, you guys, you don't understand this word submit. Even where I went to yesterday, I still had to talk about this.
Tell me.
I said, before you start talking about your wife respecting you, go back to the Bible. Bible says, husband, love your wife. Wife, submit. Submission comes very easy when love is there. You don't need to tell the wife, you know I'm your husband. As long as once you love her, submission will just flow like rivers of living water.
Yes, indeed.
I said, okay, you're talking about submission, yet you throw words that are it's if you listen to such words, you will want to put cotton wool in your ears. And it's those words that really triggered me to go and talk to the person. Like, how can you be saying this to your wife? Why? And the wife is feeling, you know what, I've come to the end of the road. Enough of this. I've had this for 15 years, enough.
Can you imagine?
And I'm trying to make her understand it. You know what? I know you've eaten so much, you've had so much. You guys need to come to a truce, to a reasonable truce. It's not easy, especially when you're on the receiving end. A lot of people will just say, after 20 years of marriage, you divorce. Do you know the shoe that the person is wearing?
You just got to the break point.
You don't understand. Because if you understand, you will not open your mouth and utter some kind of words. Because some people just swallow everything that's been going on for the children's sake. For the children's sake. But now I think our peace should be all that matters. Your sanity.
And your safety.
Yes.
Safety and your peace, really.
I have a client, she's Indian. You know, this their arranged marriage. She got married to her first cousin.
Wow.
And the marriage has been buzz, but she's I don't think that woman will get well. Hello.
Wow. It's amazing. And meanwhile, I've heard of arranged marriage that is still going on sweet and strong, loving. So there's always, and it doesn't even matter the culture you're from, really. The individual traits, the individual personality, behavior, and all of that has to be dealt with. You know, some people grow up with what is it called, with anger, and nobody there to tell them, you don't behave this way, you don't do this, you don't, nobody to check them, and they grew up like that. What do you expect? Now their wives or husband want to check them. Those are the issues.
Yes, sorry, Jerry.
Yeah, it's
I'll
fine.
need to cut my talk short because when you're at work, people keep coming in and out. But then at the end of the day, I think domestic violence is something that we should really look into and educate our children, educate people around us. Don't just conclude. Don't conclude. If you see somebody walking out of a marriage or a situation, don't just conclude.
Don't judge.
Don't judge, and always remember that there's two sides of the story. She can say her own sweet side, but listen to his own side of the story as well. I don't like to come into conclusion. Whatever you say, I'll tell you, well, this is your situation. For me, this is how I feel. Let's work together and see how we can make this thing. And then let's have the Bible as our foundation. Without the Bible, without the Word of God, it's not going to happen. and this domestic violence of a thing will continue. It will, and some they are beating you. Can't you run? You just stand there, allow the person to wound you, hurt you for no reason. They will. Some women, you see them all battered, brain damage. I'm like, you are standing there. They are beating you. You could not. Didn't find the door or the window to run. You just stood there in the name of submission. Some lose their life over it, lose their sanity, their peace. Why?
Yeah, they're even deformed.
And as in, one came, he brought her from Nigeria, and do you know this man was so mean to her, down to her bank card. He was the one holding her bank card, made sure she went to do nursing, and then every wages that goes into her account, he controls it. That she has to pay him all the money he spends to bring her. And this is your wife. Why would she pay you?
Lord, how is transactional marriage?
As in, this love of a thing, I don't know if if it really exists. I tell people the only love that I'm sure of is agape love. Any other love is just by the way. It's because I don't understand such kind of love. You love somebody, you do something you want in return. How? Why? I just pray God will help us.
Amen.
It's a sensitive topic, but you know what? More grace, and God bless all those that have been through it and came out alive. Teach others not to go through it. Bless you.
Thank you, Susan. Again, I'll say here, if it's triggering anything for you, please feel free to reach out. Reach out to me. This one I've been saying since my talk, because I know, like we've said, is a very sensitive and deep topic. You may have missed all the helplines I called out earlier. That you can always do your research online yourself. But I mean, reach out to me personally so that we can see how far we can help one another. Like we say, any form of domestic violence in a marriage relationship is not God's plan, it's not God's design. And I get it. We all have baggages, we all have our upbringings, we have behaviors we haven't really checked and all of that. But that should not give us a license to raise our hands, raise our, filthy words towards our spouses. No, not at all. Thank you, Susan. Thank you for sharing your wealth of experience. Thank you. I don't know if Kenneth is ready to speak, otherwise, or Hair by Flaky. I don't know. Any one of you two. Otherwise, I'll go to I'll go to Debbie, then I'll come to you, Welfare. Welfare, that's you, Angela. I see not. I'm seeing the same picture, but I might be wrong actually. Debbie, good evening.
It's me with a different name. Hello.
I'm like this photo. I'm seeing welfare to wealth or something. I'm like, it's the same person, but I might just be wrong. Okay, not Hair by Flaky. All right, I get you. So Debbie, I'm coming. Kenneth, wait, Kenneth, are you there? It's probably still at work too. Okay. Debbie, good evening. I'm sure you heard one or two things people have said, and I see you've been commenting there. So the two questions I asked is, why domestic violence in marriage? And how do we cut off that cycle of domestic violence in a marriage? So please, let's hear from you. I know you say, I'm not married yet, that. We know that. But we've heard of family, relatives.
Why are you coming for me?
I'm coming for you because you will have to say something. So yes, let's hear from you, our elder Debbie. Let me start with you.
Not any kind of topic.
It doesn't matter. I mean, just thinking about
on this kind of topic, me, I only have one opinion. Run.
You started run.
Lady, I cannot become handicapped because I want to make somebody remain title of husband.
No, it's beyond that, You say run. Yeah.
You said why? You said why domestic violence?
Why DV in marriage? Why? I mean, marriage, as God designed it, is meant to be filled with love, gentleness, care, even anger, but sin not, and things like that. So why would we say we love this person and they're making us to beat them? Maybe by what they say or their actions or whatever. Why? Why is that the way forward or the way to resolving whatever? Why do you think so?
Well, I don't really know why,
Okay.
but if anything, in a lot of people that experience this DV of a thing, is still this patriarchy thing in our African culture.
Mm.
The mindset to subdue the other person,
I
the
know.
mindset to rule over the other person.
Mm.
Yeah, possibly that's part of the reason there's TV in marriage.
Okay.
But I would say when it comes to this thing, it's actually on both sides. It's just that um it's more on one side than the other.
Like we said,
Some
we're not really gender biased, but we know what the statistics are showing.
uh,
But saying that, the course that I said I did, it says a lot of men, because of shame, they don't report it. So that's why we
yes,
don't have their statistics as well. So who
yes.
knows how far apart it is? We don't know truly.
To be honest, when it comes to this reporting it,
Mm,
the statistic is not even right because there are lots of women,
mm.
thousands of women
As well,
that
yeah.
will never even talk about it,
Let alone report it.
let alone report it.
Yeah.
Because it's a shame.
Mm,
It's a shameful thing. It's a shameful thing. So they won't want to talk about it. They won't want anybody to even advise them to leave because where are they leaving to?
especially when they don't have the financial capacity.
Even when they have the financial capacity, eh, because of what people will say,
Shame. Mm.
they will still not leave.
Yeah, it's
They
one
will
of
still
those.
not leave. So it's a very sensitive topic, like everybody have been saying, because you can't really advise somebody that is going through it that, oh, I think you should excuse yourself.
Mhm.
Because see, if you want to advise somebody in that manner, you have to be ready to either house them, pay for their rent if they can't afford it. You have to be ready to take up their responsibility for as long as they will be able to stand on their feet. Now if it's a man, how do you want to say it?
Mm.
Do you understand? It's a very
Shameful thing to say for man.
not I don't see it as shameful. It's just that, like I said, this patriarchy thing in our culture make it look like as a man. I think it's patriarchy in culture and in religion. So they make it look like as a man there are some things you don't discuss, you don't talk about it. How are you able to say it as a man that your wife slap you? Do
Mm.
you understand?
Mm.
And that's because from the beginning, this thing starts from childhood.
Mm.
Let's go back to the foundation. It starts from childhood. Either they mirror it from their parents, or somehow you you kind of lay your hands on your siblings. Your parents didn't find out what is the problem, what causes it. They encourage the other person to abuse the other person, or they use one child to train one child, which is common.
Mm.
That child grew up seeing it as it's normal.
Yeah.
And the moment they get to a stage in their life, or they get in a situation in their life where you now tell them that thing you can't get it, they would rather want to get it with violence.
Mm.
See, what's it called? I was reading a story, not a story actually. One of the um group I follow on Instagram. Somebody wrote in something.
An article or something, yeah.
Not an article. It's something that actually happened in her life
Oh,
that she
okay.
needs advice. She needs advice on.
Okay.
her husband, they had misunderstanding. Now, where I'm going is, I'm trying to say in this story, what I want to bring out at the end is that when it comes to DV, it doesn't just come in both physical,
Yeah, we've said
it
that here.
comes in different session.
Oh, yes.
So her husband, they have misunderstanding, is the one at fault. And on top that, he refused to apologize. He refused to even acknowledge anything. So because of that, and it's something that has been occurring. So she said this time around, she stood on her ground. She decided to stood her ground, abi to stand her ground. Emergency Oyinbo so.
We people understand you.
She
Many
decided
times.
she decided to stand her ground, and then few days after, this man RAP her.
Wow.
On top of that, on top of that, and it's not just RAPR that is now the
Oh, no,
what's it called? That is 50% of what he did after. When he now want to crown it up, he now pour it on her face.
Oh.
That is
Wickedness of the highest order. I mentioned that.
I don't know if I should call it wickedness. There is something we call it in the courses of the tatata. I'm trying not to use it so that TikTok will not block us. But that is the height of it. He, on top of that, and he now said, the reason I did that is so that you will not come back to tell me, say you get unnecessary, stupid belly. What do you think that person is going through? How do you advise her?
You might have to rewind. I think I've missed something in this your story.
Okay.
The
What don't you
the
do?
husband RAPE her and then did what?
He RAP her. When he was about to pour, he pour it on her face.
Oh, I see. Okay, okay. I was thinking of something as well. Okay. Wow.
Did you get it down?
Yeah.
He came on her face and said, so that you will not come to me later that you are pregnant. That woman is not just traumatized. I don't even know what to think about her life. When they ask me what do I have to say, I said I leave it for the elders to take control, because that kind of thing, I don't know how I will react if it happens to somebody close to me.
Is it sometimes you might have to use, is it reverse psychology or what do they call it? Ask
And we are talking about
the man, if the man were to be, ask that man that your daughter, if the husband did that to her and she calls you daddy, this is what my husband did to me, what will you say?
do you know some men don't see anything wrong with it?
Ah,
Yes. This thing is deep. Oh.
then it comes back
It
to
is
the
deep.
character formation from childhood.
They don't see anything wrong with it. Some women don't see anything wrong with it. Even some mother-in-law believe that if their son have not beaten you, you are not supposed to stay in that house, because they beat them for their own house.
Hey, do
So
it.
how are you so special that they never beat you?
That's where the problem is, isn't it?
Do you understand? It's deeper.
Yeah.
Huh? Was it last year or 2 years ago? We were dealing with a case of the girl was beaten. She has been beating before that. She is keeping quiet. She will just complain little. But I think this last one, she saw her life flash in front of her. When she sent the video, when I saw the video, my first question is, where is she? And somebody said, oh, she's still there. I said, no, you are mad. You are supposed to leave whatever you are doing, go to her house and take her from that place for now. Because they use belt to beat Iyawole. She did not steal. Oh. She did not steal. This thing actually even caused problem in their family because it was we outsider that were fighting for her. Our family were okay with it. It was we outsiders that had to gather money to bring her out of there. So it's deeper. Some people when that's why I said to Elder Leslie when he said education. Some people are educated. They are even they are educated than you can imagine. But when it comes to this thing, no,
They
it's
don't
not
have a
working.
clue. Yeah, I know.
So it's a lot. And like I said in the comment section, I think we have gotten to a stage where as a woman, as a man, if you grow up in this kind of environment, you are not supposed to marry until you go for maybe psychologist, any whatever. It's true.
But would they go for it? They don't even think they have a problem. That's the thing. So it's
That
when they think they have problem, there's a problem, they will seek help to solving the
that's
problem.
that's where the problem is. That's where the problem. And I'm sorry. Okay, well, I think somebody was saying a story of the girl that they were beating her, and then whenever she cries to parents, they will say, "Oh, she should go back there. She will be fine." La 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 la. At the end of the day, then throw am for from 3 stories building.
My goodness.
Yeah, he threw her from 3 story build down, and that was it. Now, from that day, the mother her life never remained the same. The mother's life never remained the same. The parents' marriage just went sour from there, and they want them to take their daughter away. They want them.
Does it get to that? Really?
It shouldn't. And I'm sorry, I think when it comes to this thing, some people need factory resets. At the same thing, there is this thing in the Bible that said, "Do not respond to a foolish person, so that you won't be like you both are foolish together." And the next verse said, "Answer a fool in his own folly,
Yeah.
so that he won't think that he's wise." Some people, the reason there is no DV in their marriage anymore is because when one person try it, the other person retaliated immediately. I think I've said of a story of 2 sisters that experienced DV in their marriage.
Maybe.
One, these people have businesses in this UK. They don't buy mortgages, they buy houses. They buy when the developers want to start, they buy the land like that. They tell them what they want them to build on it. That's how much God helps them. You know what break them and ruin the businesses? Is this thing. Your husband will beat her to the extent that when you beat a child, put her hand on the table, use
Ruler.
no ruler is too small. First, what this thing we used to turn amala, what is it called?
A
First,
wooden spoon. That wooden spoon.
yeah, to beat her, beat her, beat her. She stayed. Only God saved her that she didn't pass. Because at the end of the day, not only were they giving her bad grades, they were even sharing their sharing and sharer. They now came back with certificates. The only reason she didn't catch it was because she was pregnant. And whenever she's pregnant, she can't have she can't sleep with him because they had to tie her uterus. That's the only thing. That's how God saved her. And even at that, the man fought. He believed that why will he be the one to have that kind of thing? It should be her. The government had to get involved to take her out of that marriage. They had to threaten that they will take her children from her for her to be able to get out of that place. Now she have a sister. The sister then slapped the sister one time. The sister carried the flower vase and hit it on their head.
Oh, wow.
And when they called the ambulance, I'm talking in this country, when they called the ambulance, they said to them that he was trying to arrange something there. The flower vase fell on him. And that was the first and the last time they tried it with her.
Mm.
Do you see why I said some people need factory reset? Let's say she couldn't fight back then. But if she had maybe run or do something, you won't get to that. So I just feel if anybody is in it, your life is more important than what people will say. If you need to go and sleep under the bridge so that you will not cry on time, if you cry, your children will turn slave. Your children will turn slave to people you don't know.
Yeah.
So for you not to cry, if you need to go and sleep under the bridge, run for your life. If it takes you to be sleeping on the floor of a church or a mosque or wherever, for you to be alive, run for your life. Maybe the person will now change later. You still run first. When they change, you can talk about it later. But in that moment, run for your life. Either you are a man or a woman,
Please.
please run for your life. The amount of damaged children out there that grew up in this kind of environment is a lot. In fact, not just children. Now, I would say damaged adults. This Gen Z generation are still kind of better than the former generations. You see, anybody from their 30s upward, they all have stories to say when it comes to this thing. Run for your life, oh. Run for your life, for the sake of yourself, for the sake of your children. Because at the end of the day, if it's a man that is the abusive one, and you buy on the children's graduation, wedding, whatever day, he will still sit. And if it's the woman too, she will still sit as a parent. Na the person báwo ni Yorùbá ṣe máa ń sọtọ tẹni tó kú ló gbé, na the person wey die na him you own finish. That's the only way I could put it.
Wow.
So
All
a lot of people, you are right, sir, a lot of children witnessed it and they grew up believing that it's fine. A lot of them believe that, it's part
Sorry,
of it.
welfare to wealth. I'm coming to you now. I'm so sorry.
So it's a lot. I think God will help us. But if you are not married yet, and for some reason you are talking to the person, either a man or a woman, one way or the other they raise their voice. That is just one point. If you did not run now, from raising their voice, they will slap you. I have left relationship that they promised me marriage because I was talking and the next thing they said, "Are you mad?" I was like, "Bam, Debbie, run." Because I know that is just one pinch of what they can do. I see. I value this thing that is doing who inside of me. I like it. I value it more than anything. They call me after to beg me, but I say it's okay. I forgive you. In fact, you are the best thing that happened to any kind of woman. It's not just me. You are the best thing that happened to any kind of woman, but not me. Because I can't imagine what you will do when you are in your full order. So if you are not married yet, it's not managed. That thing is not really manageable, especially if the person don't see anything wrong in it from the beginning. If you can run, please run. Your life is more important than anything. God help us.
Amen. Thank you. Debbie's answer is run. Capital run. Thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, all the experiences you've shared, there's so many circumstances, so many scenarios. Some may seem, there's no way out. There's always a way out. That's what we're trying to say here. There's always a way out. As it takes two to tango. When one party, is trying to address something, you don't want to be held accountable for your actions or reactions. You blame your spouse for you're the what did I even say? You made me do this. That's what you always say. You made me do this. There's problem and it has to be addressed. Otherwise, nobody's going to enjoy that relationship. So thank you, Debbie. I'm coming to welfare. Let me come to you now. Please unmute. Let's hear you before you fall asleep on us. But thank you for your patience. Thank you so much. Welfare, Angela, please let me hear you. Abi, she slept off already. Hello, somebody tap her mic for me. Yeah, let me bring back Hair by Flaky. I think it's still there. Baritone, I see you. You're not accepting that invite. I see you. Hair by Flaky, I don't know if you're ready to talk. Kenneth, you're still there. I see you. Welfare to wealth. Wakey, wakey. Oh my goodness, I think she's in her village right now. But all the same, thank you so much for all your contributions. Kenneth, can you speak now? No? Yes? If you can type so that I would know, because I don't even know whether you're hearing me or not. It's amazing. Maybe I'll just go over that cycle again. Let me find that aspect of my note.
My lady,
Yes?
when you were talking the other time, you said somebody when he was about to pass, he called all his children to apologize. What do you think made him apologize?
When death is staring him in the face, because he will not live forever. Who will live forever? And he
It's
just
not
wants to die
because
in peace.
it's not because he regret anything.
Okay, Baritone, thank you.
It's just for his selfish reason. Seeing death is seeing hellfire.
Is that what you think? Well, it could be. I don't know. I wasn't in his mind, but it's just the story that came to mind. I remember.
Most people that call people together to apologize when they are on their
Is it
deathbed.
not good? Is it not good that they leave things unresolved?
I'm not. Oh, it's my network. Oh, my Mr. Baritone. It's my network. TikTok and my network has been behaving for a few weeks now.
That we can even hear you and it hasn't dropped you. Well done, TikTok. Thank you.
See, I'm not saying it's not
Echo.
good.
I can't hear any echo though. Maybe it's from your end.
It is. Even me, I can hear it.
I can't.
The thing is, why didn't they find this peace before death coming knocking on their door?
Something will have to trigger something for you to do good or do bad. No,
It's
I
just
guess.
because they don't want to go to hellfire. That's the only reason.
And that's even if they believe in the first place. That's if they believe in God. So they may not. They
A
might.
lot of
They might just
them,
want to do it for peace sake.
a lot of them, it's not because they believe in God. They just feel the need to do it. Unfortunately, things have already gone sour.
No, not really.
I'm
Exactly.
just,
Yeah,
I'm
because
just using that as a
everybody
joke.
dying is a believer, and not everybody trying to make amends on their deathbed is even a believer as well. So I'm not too sure about that, yeah, but that's my take as
I
well.
can't know that. Regardless that they do it, the damage they have caused, who will repair it?
It's left on the individual to go and sort themselves out.
It's
A
not that
lot of
easy.
a lot of people grew up being battered, but they grew up learning the right thing, and then instead of battering their own children, they're loving their children. And I'm a witness of that. So there's always a way out. There's always a change you have to make. And some people, like you said, they don't care. They don't see anything bad in anything they do. and every other person is pointing to them that change your ways, but they feel everybody's talking nonsense, they're the ones that are good. How
That's
does that one
because
seek help?
people like that, they are in the environment where they are the most respected person. Everybody, you understand, they see them as important, and in that environment, everybody think the same way.
Yeah.
You see, the other case I was telling you that is outsiders that end up getting the lady out.
Yeah.
Even our family, the only brother that stood against every other person received punch and slap. Do you understand?
Yeah. I know. Sometimes because the
So,
person abusing is influential or wealthy, nobody wants to tell them the truth. They're indulging this person. And then when you now have a dead person on your hand, they will go to prison now. And the truth be told, some people, because of their influence, they still get away with it. So what are we talking about? Run for your life. Run for your life if you have to. Because like I said, sometimes it's not automatically you go divorcing and all. You might separate for a while to get help, whether for you are the victim or the perpetrator, whichever way. Separation sometimes might just be a way out. And then it gives you that space to reflect and think, is this what you really want for the rest of your life? And then, it's when you have peace, you can think straight. But when you're in the gbas and all of that, you think this is the only way, so to say. So sometimes you may have to separate. Some people may have to run away. It's not like they're divorcing straight away, but it's just to run away to be safe. Better safe than sorry, as they say. I mean, whatever measure you have to take, whatever safety precaution you have to take, as long as you're preserving your life. Because the truth is, whether this person is arrested or not after you're gone, tendency is they'll go and find somebody else. What's left of you and of your children, if there are children in that marriage? You all know all the stories we hear every time.
there is a case on Instagram of a lady they exposed to the other side of the world. The person that stood for the guy to defend the guy is getting married to the guy end of this month.
Depending also for the guy.
Yeah, there is a lady that stood up for against everybody to be defending the guy.
Eh, you
She's
know,
getting married to the guy.
there's this proverb where I come from that the
Ẹja ta fi nà yálé, ó wà ní.
in fact, translation, the cane that they used to beat the first wife or former wife is still ready, is still waiting on the shelf for the other wife coming, so to say. Be careful the foundation you're laying for yourself. So thank you, Debbie, for those chit chat. Is really, really insightful, I believe so. The cycle of abuse, this one can easily be missed, and I remember I had to really explain it, but I'll just say it for the sake of those who missed that aspect of my talk. The cycle of abuse. Domestic violence is not a one-time event. It follows a cycle, and the perpetrator sometimes they plot in their mind, they some unconsciously, it's just a way of life because they don't know any better anyways, so they start building up tension in the home for no reason. Sometimes some things just get out of hand. They get angry for no reason. You put this cup here, they will be angered. If you put this spoon here, little things like that, they start building the tension. They want to control everything. Don't sit there, stand there, don't do this, do that, because why I'm the husband, I say so, because why I'm the wife, I'm richer, or whatever, I say so. That's, I don't want to be gender biased for whatever reason at all. They try to control everything. And then you're with this person, it's like you're walking on eggshells. You dare not sneeze. In fact, you have to hold your nose so that they don't hear, because that sneeze will trigger something for them or whatever it is. So they just build the tension unnecessarily. And guess what? After the tension, of course, comes the outburst, or abuse would occur. Some, like I gave the example, they're sitting here, you're sitting over there, they just throw the remote, bam, to your eye, pa. God help you, one eye does not fall out. or the slap comes unexpectedly from nowhere, or they might stand behind you, they just bring out this outburst. The incident then has happened, and you're still seeing stars. Your days like, did my spouse just did this? Like, where did this come from? You're still trying, you're in shock. And then before you realize, abuser apologizes, they promise to change because they know what they're doing. Some is like, I don't know how to call it. It gives them some sort of thrill. Like, this woman, this man, I can do whatever I want with them because they love me, they've submitted to me, or whatever it is. And then they will come and apologize. Oh, I'm sorry. My hand just went up. I didn't realize it was so close to your eyes. The remote, I just wanted to do, they will have excuses for every outburst. And then they will apologize, every excuse in the book, and then you'll be confused, like, oh, they're so sorry. In fact, almost close to tears. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do this, And then you feel like, oh, they're so remorseful. Oh, they honestly, I'm sure they didn't mean to do that. And then, you're thinking, okay, just forgive them. I mean, because they're apologetic about it. And then comes the calm phase, which is the last phase. That calm phase is, oh my God, I just believe it's demonic and wicked. I call it also, it's called the honeymoon phase, a period of peace when you think they've reconciled with you, they've apologized, they promise to change, you believe them, and then you feel, oh, peace at last. Oh, but then back to square one, that tension slowly starts building. It starts rebuilding again. See that calm state? That's when maybe there's this particular thing you've asked them to do for months and months. They refuse. They're like, no, my way is the way. No, I'm not doing it. And then they now go and get that thing for you to say, sorry, my dear, I didn't mean to do this. And in your mind, you're definitely convinced that this person has changed. And once they see that you're now relaxed, you're trusting them again, you're okay, bam, they start building that tension. Something will annoy them. This one, And guess what? You come to your senses that, this thing has happened before. My goodness, 15 years into this marriage, before some people, it will click for them. Some people 5 years, some people 10 years, some people even longer than that. It's a cycle, and they keep doing this over and over. You make excuses for them. They give you this outburst. They apologize. They make peace. They promise to change. Before you believe, you say, okay, you're convinced. You find out that 20 years is gone. That's why some people get stuck in there, because it's not easy. Some people don't even realize that that cycle is abuse or is abusive. And they stay there endlessly until something will click, or until they watch a movie, until they see something, but damages has been done already, but not fully because they're still alive. That's why you need to get yourself help. Don't feel the shame. After 20 years, what would they say? It's hard. It's hard, especially when you're in it for that love from the onset. And now this is what you're getting back. It is hard. And like we said, a lot of people have died needlessly just because of domestic abuse neglected. I pray God will continue to help us. Welfare to wealth. Wake up. Are you still there? Kenneth, can you talk? I see Baritone, you've joined us. Good evening. Anyone that is, of you three, anyone that is ready, please. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mom. And good evening to the rest of the people on the panel and those on the comment section, everyone listening. It's sorry I wasn't able to come up earlier, and the topic is gripping. Domestic violence. I normally would say that this is one part of marriage that has got a special demon attached to it. Yes, because when you're talking about a cycle, where there is a cycle, and this person apologizes and is all nicey, and then just know that another one is coming, and it's a marriage is a beautiful thing and is not meant for everybody, unfortunately. So
You
it's meant
think they
only for
will
some
buy that?
people. Yes, and of course, God created marriage. Marriage typifies and is supposed to show the union of the Trinity, the union within the Godhead of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, of course, because when two people come together and then they produce a progeny, that shows and that shows up what the union within the Godhead is like. But then when it turns into, and I always would say that domestic violence is only the one situation that I would tell somebody that even though marriage is what God desires, for people to enjoy life, that is the one situation I would tell somebody walk away, run away, like some people would use they run, walk away because like Jesus said, it's better for you to um to go into heaven with one eye than be cast into the lake of fire, with everything. And I don't know how, but there have been terrible experiences that people. I mean, like I was listening to Susan and to Debbie. I think I came when Susan was talking, and people have had some terrible experiences, and there's a special demon, or there's some special demons in charge of domestic violence. And if there's anybody out there who is listening and is going through something, if you cannot run by yourself, because even when there, it gets to a point where the door is open but the person cannot even walk through the door and walk away, and they are on freeze mode. They have been so captured from the inside, and they freeze and paralyzed. Like I froze on the what not that Midland Bridge yesterday. What's it called? The that bridge yesterday, because I'm scared of heights. So they get into that mode and they freeze, and please seek help. Talk to someone, because and I know that especially for our African women, there's been that tendency, that an African woman is happy enough to stay in a marriage where she's receiving, bosa here and there, and be called Mrs. than to be called divorced. And I'm thankful that in this day and age, our African women are waking up to smell the coffee rather than being carried out in a coffin. They stand up and they do something to help themselves. It's never a good situation. It's never. I mean, the very idea, even when it happens by mistake, what kind of what caused that mistake where to even and to even know that they even it happens the other side, that women beat up.
It does happen. We've said that here. Yeah.
Yes, it does happen, unfortunately. So, and it's a shame though, but I think if there's anybody who's experiencing it, or someone who's experiencing it out there, seek help or get help for the person, because
Sorry,
it's
Bariton. Sorry to
yeah.
cut you. Do you know this? I don't know whether it's in Pro. I think it's in Proverbs. It says something like, "Some people's mouth call for blows." I was in some discussion, and this was what this person said, that you don't know my wife. Her mouth calls for blows. Um, you're laughing. And initially I thought, oh, it's joking. He said, no, seriously. Her mouth calls for blows. And then when he wore that serious looking face, I'm like, this person mean business. But I just hope they have not tried that. I don't know what's your take on that? I'm sorry to divert you, but because someone quotes the Bible for you to suit whatever it is they're doing, there's always a portion of the Bible they can twist upside down just to suit them.
I think there was a live. I can't remember if it was your live or some other person's live. Leslie was the one talking, and he did mention something. He said, in situations where there is a heated argument, and as a man you feel so angry that there's some, walk away,
It's
walk
hard.
away. It's- there are no two ways about. If you're a good person, you will walk away.
Aw.
You will walk away. Worst case scenario, you will exchange words also before walking away. But to raise your hand, it's when you cross that Rubicon, you can't undo it. It's something you can never undo because it will remain. It's like in fact it's not even like credit score, where there is a stain
Can
on your
always
credit
push her
score.
back up.
It doesn't go off after 6 years. It's still there. It's stored. And for women are created to remember things. They will store it in the thingy and
Memory.
keep it forever. They will smile, but it is there. It is
Thank you,
there.
hotspot. Thank you.
So I don't know what more to
Let me have to
say.
ask you the two questions so that because I see, I hear you. The two questions for today after the talk is why domestic violence in marriage and how do we cut off that cycle of domestic violence in a marriage? How can it be cut?
I think some people just have a natural propensity to violence, and
Thank you, hotspot.
it comes a lot from, or a lot of it comes from the way people were brought up. And some people were brought up to believe they're entitled to certain things, and where they can't get it, they become a little bit forceful, and up to the point of being physical. And there are people who are, who grow up
That's
thinking
enemy.
that the other sex is supposed to be subservient to them. They're supposed to be, lesser humans. They're supposed to be, subsumed into their personality. They're supposed to be below and beneath them in such a way that if it doesn't happen that way, then please no go date this house.
Yeah.
And that is where the problem comes from. you know so at the end of the day, when you talk about how do we combat it, it's still going back to the roots where teaching of morals have been thrown out of the window, especially in our schools. That
Yeah.
is where the problem is. We have to go back to the roots, you know, especially when, some things are even more important to be taught to kids of 6 years old, like teaching them sex education, even instead of teaching them these little things of how to say thank you, of how to say I'm sorry, of how to say, some very, very basic things that kids are supposed to learn. These are the things that should be inculcated right from the nursery primary stage, because then, it's train a child in the way he should go, and he would never depart from it. Because when they, the natural tendency, would be to rely on those things, you know you learned when you were a kid. It's just like, when if I were to if I go for psychotherapy, and they say close your eyes and think of, a camp place, I return to when I was a child, because that's where it happened for me. It calms me down. But where your childhood is, cataclysmic, it's all, all sorts of things happen then there is no peace for that child, and he grows up a horrible human being, and he doesn't just keep it within himself. he metes it out to other people. And every other person that comes in contact with him bears the brunt of that pain that is, festering within himself. And that is where the point is. We need to go back to the roots. We need to. And if it's not happening in the school, parents parents are the first teachers. Parents have the duty. you know these days you hear of, leave my child, he will grow out of it. Parents need to buckle down, to tell, especially the boy child, when they are wrong. Tell the boy child when they are supposed to apologize to the girl child, when they are wrong, to be kind, to tell them, that natural milk of human kindness to come out to play, because of course there's the masculine side of the man and there's the feminine side. That feminine side is also supposed to be nurtured so that it grows and becomes part of the person and making that person a balanced human being. Thank you.
Thank you so much. There's a lot out there. And we know it's sensitive in nature. And I'll say this again. If it's triggered any sort of thing for you, please feel free to reach out. After this live, you can reach out to me, God helping us. Don't stay in there and be silent. Don't allow someone to blame you for their actions or reactions towards whatever conflict or disagreement. Violence is never a solution nor a way, to resolving issues. And please, no matter how long it's been, don't see shame like, what will people say? Because when you die, people will still say. If you die in it, people will say. If you're suffering in it, at some point people will get to know. Because I gave some other effects and what have you. Sometimes they'll cut you off from family, friends. You feel isolated, even though you're supposed in your husband or wife's or your family home and all that. Nobody dare come to see you. They fence you off. Nobody comes in, nobody goes out. If anybody comes in, they brought the person and the person will have to go before anything happens. And this is constantly going on. You were once a career person, now you're married, they've cajoled you, gaslighted you, or done all sorts, manipulated you, why you don't need to work, and you cut off your profession, cut off your career, stay indoor, they will give you pennies, whatever you need is on them. And when they're angry with you, you don't get money. Whether man to woman, woman to man, these are not right. This is not God's design for a marriage. And it's even worse when it's obvious that there's a problem, but this person is still not acknowledging that they have any issues they need to deal with. Because sometimes it's in fact, not sometimes, all the time, you can't change anyone really. It's on them to decide, okay, I need this change. Because sometimes you're living with them, you can see their inadequacies, and that's why we need to be held accountable to one another. If you're doing something that is hurting me, I have a right to call you down, sit you down. This thing you're doing is hurting me. And for the spouse, do not dismiss it, even if you do not understand it. It's on you to try to, because this person is venting. They're not happy about something. So even if you feel you're not the reason why they're not happy or whatever it is, hear them out. Because I want to believe it's only you they're married to, it's only you in that relationship. So instead of saying deal with it, or you now resolve to this violence we're talking about, how is that meant to help you enjoy the goodness of that marriage? And it's only your spouse, they know you. In fact, especially those who have been married for so long, you can even predict each other's, words or actions sometimes. But when it's not out of proportion, and then somebody is calling you to order, you feel, oh, why are you questioning me? It's disrespectful. You're not submissive. You now start twisting and manipulating stuff. That is no solution either. Marriage is supposed to be for life as designed by God. And I believe strongly that God knows it can actually work. Why is it not working? I need to check myself. My spouse needs to check themselves. That means we're not doing something right. And we don't want to keep blaming our childhood, past trauma, No, this is a new life, a new chance to live life the best way. And the choice is in your hands. Either you choose DV as solution, or you choose no DV. Even though I experienced it growing up, I refuse to use DV as resolution, conflict resolution techniques. Make up your mind. And they say some people don't care, because I was saying, throw to them. If somebody was beating your daughter in front of you, will you just say, well done, keep beating her? No. Or somebody is attacking your son. You say, it's the wife now. I keep beating my son. No, you will have to intervene, or you have to do something. So why do it to somebody else's child, even though they are your wife, they are your husband? We need to be careful. Like I said, I've given so many organizations that can help, whether you are the victim or the perpetrator. Go online, do this research yourself. Make sure you have people around you that you can, talk to, because these things you can't do it alone. I talked about misconceptions, about marriage. Oh, wife must be submissive. Oh, they stayed because they enjoy it. Don't judge people, especially when you have not walked in their shoes. Do not judge them, because you don't know what they're battling with. Sometimes it's not written on the forehead. Someone who's been sexually abused by the spouse, it's not going to be written on their forehead. You can't tell unless they share with you. And if somebody has taken their time, the pain to reach out to you, please do not judge them. Give them empathetic ear. Listen to them and put heads together how best you can help them, so they don't unalive in that marriage situation or relationship. Please don't judge anybody if you have not walked their shoes. You may not even understand. Give them that space to offload, and then together find ways. Reach out to all these helplines we've mentioned and all of that, because DV is never God's design for marriage. I'm going to leave it there. I don't know if Kenneth still want to say something, or Hair by Flaky. Uh, welfare to wealth, I think she may have, slept off or whatever. Otherwise, we'll call it a night, and I just take it that some of us are here for the moral support, which I obviously appreciate as well. Kenneth, are you there? Oh, you're here. Yay. Let me clap for you. I think you went to your village briefly, yeah? Thank you.
Can I speak now? Hello, everybody.
Yes, I've been calling you since. Thank you.
Yeah, one of those topics. One of those topics that it happens a lot more than we want to acknowledge,
Yeah.
and a lot of it is not even reported. A lot of it is subtle. Starts really small and then kind of grows, because it's like it takes another dimension each time. A typical abuser will start small and then it grows, so the next one is usually bigger than the one before. And I'm sure we've already established that there's different kinds of abuse. But let me speak about I'll call it the jailer.
Okay.
When someone is against your progress, when someone is not letting you develop, whether it's going for education, whether it is getting a job, when someone is acting like a door stopper to your progress, to your development, that is abuse. It's not obvious, but that's abuse, and it's happening a lot more. They'll give you very sweet. Some people, in fact, they give you a very sweet reason why you should not work, and they'll paint it in such a beautiful way that if you don't quite see it,
One
you will
of
not
the
understand.
examples I gave, yeah.
Yeah, you will not understand that this is somebody trying to control me and doesn't want me to work. The typical reason why they don't want you to work is so that you'll be reliant on them for finances.
Yeah.
And they say he who feeds you controls you.
Oh, dear.
It's that perspective. Once you're not able to have any money by yourself, it means you're reliant on them. And then through that, they can tell you when to sit and when to go. That is usually the aim, to control financial. So there's financial there as well. Jailer, they stop you from going out. stop you from having friends, stop you from having contact with family. It's either you going to see family or saying you need to get the approval of parliament before any family comes to visit. But it's really just stopping your progress. The point of that again is so that once you're isolated, once you've cut you out, then it's easy for them to do whatever they want and nobody will see it.
Exactly.
It's not uncommon for people to say, let's relocate. The whole point is that they are moving you as far away from your connections, be it family and friends. The aim of that is to isolate you. Because if they keep you, if he can't hit you when there's friends around, you might cry and somebody will hear. So I'm
Don't
going to
even
take you to a
do.
place
See,
where
don't do. They
I'll
don't
take
care who's around.
I'll take you to a place where if it happens, the next loved person is far away. Again, that's attempt to isolate you so that they can control you and so that you don't have any help. That's the thing. You'll be surprised that some people make sure that their partners are permanently pregnant, baby to baby. That's another form of abuse. They keep you permanently pregnant or having children so that you don't work, you're just there having babies, you can't do anything, and then they can control you because one of the most vulnerable times in a woman's life is during pregnancy and when they have a child. That is why if you look at DV figures, they spike. They go the highest time is when the woman is vulnerable. In the cases where it's man on woman here, for example, the highest times is when the woman is vulnerable, and key times are during pregnancy and childbirth, or sometimes any kind of illness, because that is the time when you're vulnerable. You're not your best self. That's when they strike. So the figures don't lie. DV is very high in cases around pregnancy and after childbirth. Because that's when you're most vulnerable, you're not your best self, and then they can strike. Finances prevent you from having money, seizing the money, seizing the wallet, seizing the card, canceling store cards, Costco card. I'm angry with you, I'm going to cancel your Costco card. There's all sorts happening.
Wow, that's petty.
And so why does it happen? I think it stems from, we've said it already, it stems a lot from the background. Stems a lot from the background. Every human being has a 50% chance of mirroring, copying what was modeled to them when they were growing. Whether modeled as in observed directly or observed indirectly, whatever they observed that was modeled to them, they have a 50% chance of copying it. So whatever you see as a child growing up, you've got a 50% chance of repeating the same thing, even if you didn't like it. That's why you hear somebody say, I don't like the way my father was treating my mother, or I don't like the way my mother was treating, but they do exactly the same thing, even though they've told you that they hated it with a passion. Because that's become their default, that's their go-to, and they do it, even though they've told you clearly I didn't like what was happening. But that's because they were exposed to it. So from a welfare perspective, they always say don't expose the child. Because once you don't expose a child, you don't even give them any reference. There's nothing to compare. There's nothing to mirror because you just didn't see it.
That's all they know. That's all they've seen.
Yeah. So I think it stems from the background a lot. And you've got religion and other things that have messed things up. You've got the enabling factor.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll leave this question to each and every one of us. How many of us have had a friend or somebody in the family that we know that was doing something to their other half? And what did we do? Observe. Stay quiet. Tell them to pray about it. Or just be patient. We know that these things are happening. So this, I sometimes I hear the cultures that there's some people that the man knows that he can't even try it with their sister or this person.
The whole
They
village
they'll
will
come for you.
They'll come for
There are
you.
some cultures they know you dare not. They will be coming for you. And some people know that and they don't try it. I absolutely hail those cultures because you can't be an uncle, a brother, a father, and somebody is battering your daughter and sister, and you people are watching. So there's a lot of enabling, and that's why it's repeated because we all know that behavior changes when there's a consequence. If people don't see the consequence, if I can get away with it, I'll continue. So to a large extent, some of these things are. That's why when you see when they immigrate from Africa to here, they are picking their shocks because they realize that they come into a place where they can't do it as they used to do as usual. Can you imagine that I saw an interview on I don't know where I watched. I think it was on TT, where this young man went for a minor.
Oh.
You know when they do it and then they sort of when they want to catch you, they'll present, the police know a way of doing it.
Hey,
They'll get into that space and present themselves like a young person. So there's many of them that are many black brothers now. They're getting them at the point where they left to go and meet a minor. So they get them at the point of, so they know that they're going to meet this minor, not knowing that it's a police that is there because they've been observing them for a while. And one of the persons had a cheek to say, well, this is normal where I come from. So the guy told the police that it's normal where I come from.
Wow. Well, when he goes through the consequences here,
Exactly.
you know that when you get to Rome, you behave like the Roman.
A lot of them are picking their shocks. That is so different here. That you can't just tell a woman and walk anything. Oh, look at you. Oh, you know, you can have two children. What are you still waiting for? Just running your mouth, saying things. Anyhow, a lot of people are losing licenses, getting lawsuits because of the things they say, perspective. Because there's a consequence. You've come to a place where now there's a consequence for your behavior, and people are struggling with that because we're used to doing things anyhow. No consequence. In fact, you do something bad, they hate you. They clap for you. Oh yeah, you're a man. It's okay to cheat. They clap for you. Society claps for you. Family claps for you. Nobody. There's no consequence. Not from a society. Not from the church. Not from the law. How do you change that behavior when it's allowed? When it's actually you're awarded?
Applauded.
So you step into a different place, and they are struggling big time, because we've grown up with no consequence. Can do anyhow. There's no consequence. In fact, we're done. Even from the have you not scared cases where even the child is trying to tell the parents, trying to tell the family, this is what is happening to me. They're like, oh, don't worry, just go and cook some food. Don't worry, just pray about it. Don't worry, the roof covers everything. We all have problems, even your own people. And let me speak to those Mr. Nice. Mr. Nice, who's a demon in the house, but outside you're a smiley face. Why do you think that it's very difficult for people to believe the victim? Because the perpetrator has a different image inside and a different image outside. And people are used to the smiley Mr. Nice outside. So people cannot comprehend what this woman is saying. What
Even
are you
if
saying?
the help is there, the father had to believe you. And
Just
what does that
everybody is
mean?
used to the smiling man, the nice man. So they're like, well, what are you saying? This man that we see him smiling all the time, happy brother in church. What are you saying? Because he has a different face outside and another face inside. I would just say, for me, again, is that discernment is getting it right from the dating or courting stage, because of these things we miss. How people resolve conflict. I cannot emphasize enough. How does somebody resolve conflict? We need to know these things before we go committing to people. When things don't go this person's way, how do they react? How do they respond? Because in life, you're going to be met with a no. You're going to meet somebody who differs with you. You're going to meet somebody who has a different perspective. You're going to meet somebody who will say, no, I don't want it this way. I prefer it this way. You're going to lash out at everybody who says no. Is it your way or the highway? This person able to negotiate? Is this person able to keep their differences and come somewhere for the greater good? I'll say, do not go committing to somebody if you don't understand how they manage conflict. Is this person somebody who communicates? How do they express themselves? Is this person able to express themselves? There's a key in these two things I've mentioned: how they resolve conflict and how they express themselves. Are they able to express themselves in a healthy way? Or they're the ones who are quiet. When there's a problem, they call in and they are quiet. If somebody is quiet when there's a problem, it's not a good thing. There's nothing good to write home about that. That's bad. If they're not able to express themselves in a healthy way, you have a problem. Because it means that when something happens now, when there's pressure, when there's challenges, you'll be faced with a problem because this person is not capable of expressing themselves in a healthy way. They bottle up and then it becomes a pressure pot and then it explodes.
Oh goodness.
They lash out. Oh, it's because of you. It's because of the way you spoke to me. No. Those are all excuses. Self-control. Is this person able to control themselves?
Matters.
You always meet situations in life that do not favor you. Whether it's in the car park, whether it's somebody saying something on the road to you, whether it's somebody driving slowly in front of you, something will happen in life everywhere. Do we lash out at every opportunity? Do we blame? Is this person able to take accountability or responsibility, or is usually another person's fault? These are things that, again, at the dating, at the courting stage, Is it always another person's fault? Is this person able to say, wow, okay, I should have done this better? I should not have done this better? Or is it always another person's fault? Does this person ever take accountability for anything at all? If they are always right, if they are never wrong,
There's
this
a
is
problem.
problems building.
Big problems.
But do we know the questions to ask when we're dating these people? Or are we going around committing ourselves, commit resources, commit finances, commit emotions? And before you know, you start saying, oh, I didn't know. So again, I don't know if it's the question of people not knowing things to look out for when they marry. I suppose it's some of that. Who else is involved in your vetting process?
Yeah.
Before we marry these people, who else is involved in your vetting process? Are we getting uncles, fathers, people who are knowledgeable involved in the process? Or are we doing it all by ourselves? Or do you turn up and say, well, I'm now pregnant, so we have to marry now? Who is involved in your vetting process? Because it starts from that foundation. So once you've already gone ahead and married somebody or had a child with somebody, that's it, it's sealed for life.
Yep.
You can't. Once you have a child with somebody, there's nothing you can do. That person is there, whether they are a happy person or a sad person. I don't want to talk about Cora or Billy drama.
Yeah.
Foundation, how we start things is so key.
Oh, thank you, Baritone.
How we start things is so key because you save yourself a lot of trouble if you can get it right at the foundation stage. If you're not sure, get a coach, get a mentor. Make sure you know what to look out for. Because a lot of us are saying, I didn't know, I didn't see it, I didn't see it, I didn't see it. No, we saw it, it was there, but we just didn't know what to look out for. Very few cases where you hear one person move from A to Z overnight. No. Usually they move progressively, gradually, they show themselves before they get to Z.
Yeah.
But we
And
just
the fact that you didn't see it or you ignore those things and you're okay, you now enter marriage, I think it's going to stop or vanish just like that. It's going to grow. And if there's butterfly in your belly, please, hey.
How does this person treat you? So I always give you the typical example that you can't be dating somebody and you say, I'm feeling unwell, I've got a headache. And this person never comes back to you to say, you say you're feeling unwell, how are you feeling now? This person doesn't say, okay, get some rest, we'll talk later. The person never comes back to say, this headache you said you're having, how are you now? Are you feeling better? You're having a challenge at work. This person never comes back to you to say, what's happening at work? I know today you said you were very anxious about today. How did it go? Never. It's usually them. They call you, they want you to answer now. That's another thing. Control, you can tell from how people communicate with you. They call you. This person knows that you're at work, but they are calling your phone back to back. And you're not picking up. The next thing is a problem. Why didn't you answer when I was calling you? You clearly know that I'm at work, so I can't answer my phone. But it's a problem. They call you, don't pick up a phone. That you are in trouble. You have to explain in paragraphs why you didn't pick up the phone. That is a red flag right there. Or you tell somebody, this person knows you that you go to bed early. By 10 o'clock, you are in bed. This person is persistently calling you at 11. And then it's a problem the next day. Why didn't you call me? You look at your phone, they're calling you after 11. You say, you're trying to say, but please.
Not even that.
Well,
You see 20 missed calls. And you almost think there was an emergency. Hey, Lord, what is that? No, please.
Phone calls. Another way to know controlling people is those you see this thing we're calling phone calls. Do not kid. People call you back to back for no reason. If you dare not answer, you're going to answer. You will explain why you didn't answer that phone call when I called you.
I'm like,
you're at work. Are you the other person who is working? That's what you hear. That is signs of control. You are in trouble. You go ahead with that kind of person, you are in trouble. You are in trouble because this kind of people, they always expect different. They don't hold themselves to the same standard. How dare you travel to this person? You didn't tell me, but this person will travel and not tell you. They will travel and not tell you.
One rule for them, another rule for you.
Exactly. They will travel and not tell you, but dare you change town without telling them, you are in trouble. Or you say you are going to, I don't know, maybe you say you're going where, and then you by mistake take another route and go, but you said you were going here. What were you doing there? Those kind of people. Oh, you didn't answer the phone. You must be with a boyfriend. You must be with somebody. You don't answer the phone. You must be doing something, but run away.
Insecurities.
Run away.
Yeah.
But this other thing, you might think now he's calling me because he cares for me. He cares for you. Can you think?
Oh, he's missing me. Oh, they love me so much.
So these things, they always show, but you've got to know what to look out for. So I would say, I'll end up by saying, please, if you're dating somebody, you're thinking of going with somebody, get other people involved in that vetting process.
Yes.
Just to be sure that you're ticking the right boxes, you're asking the right questions, just to be sure. And don't rush it. Don't rush it. because you better take your time and marry right than go and marry and then you stay with somebody and there's ants coming out of your bed, and then poor children get caught up in it as well. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much. She's owning on the foundation before you get to marriage. When you're courting, dating, what do you look out for? Do you look out for the red flags, or do you just ignore them thinking you will change this person when you get married? It doesn't work like so. Marriage is a lifetime commitment thing. You want to spend the rest of your life with this person. You better get the right knowledge before you go into it. You better be ready mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, in all of that. Ask questions, just like a welfare to wealth said. Ask questions. Sometimes you may have to even test your spouse. You're not feeling well, you can't go to work. Let's see what they will do. Whether they say, okay, when you get better, call me. Or when you get better, you know where I am, call me. Is that the kind of person you want to spend the rest of your life with? You know, little things that sometimes people ignore when they're dating, and now it becomes a mountain when they're married, and they're like, all of a sudden he's like this, she's like this. But you neglected those signs. So look out for that. If you're engaged, I always say a broken engagement is better than a broken marriage, because that one they've stamped it and given you certificate. Now you're carrying half certificate because you're no longer doing. But before you carry the full certificate, are you ready? All of the things at least you can see in your spouse, do you like them? Is there anything you want to question? Anything you need them to be, accountable to for you to have a better understanding? Are they the type that they don't want to talk deep talks? Or they say, oh, I'm an introvert, I don't talk much, or what? And yet the wickedness on the inside of them is second to none. Don't just neglect this thing and feel if you go into marriage, you will change. No man changes any man's heart. Only God. You pray. You might have to pray throughout for that marriage for you to even enjoy any ounce of that marriage. God will help you. As they say, a word is enough for the wise. And those who are in marriage that are going through DV, like we said, whether the perpetrator or the victims, there's always help available to all. Whether you're going to take that help on, it's another thing you have to, consider as a choice, really. But know that you do not have to honor life in that marriage. That is not God's plan or intention. Look out for one another. If you're the type that people just like to offload onto you, please let them offload in your space. Don't judge anybody. Try to understand. Try to give them the best counsel as possible. And if you're not equipped to do that, you can always put heads together and find the right help for such a person. It's very important we don't fold our arms and we're not silent when we've been approached. It's on you. Just take it that God has brought you in there to help this person. You can't just neglect them, because otherwise the next time you might hear from them is somebody planning funeral, God forbid, bad thing. Marriage is not meant to be lived like that. Violence, no, God does not want that. It's not part of his design. Thank you all so much, Kenneth. I don't know if you're still there, but we have to close now. Oh my goodness, time is really well spent. Thank you all so much, those who have contributed one thing or another. Thank you so much. And I'll say this again now, because I'm receiving all sort of messages from TikTok, and it's not like I'm ignoring it or I want to be emphasizing on it. Just help me with the goal for today. I think I'll just keep saying that. You have to keep building this community. We're in it, so we have to try as much as possible to build so that we don't get fined, so that we can still come back here and, do our talk and help one another to learn the right way to live in our marriages. And God will give us that grace. Those who are struggling to be better, God will give you the grace. Those who are being victimized, God will give you the grace to do the needful as well. Thank you all so much. Leslie, thank you. Susan, thank you. I know you're at work. Hair by Flaky. Sheung, who has dropped off. Baritone, thanks for joining us today. Kenneth, thank you. I know you're there, but probably at work. Thank you so much. Welfare to Wealth, I see you. Thank you. A13, gracias. Thank you so much. Elder Debbie, you know, I try to bring you back. Just keep throwing you back out. I was gifting you. What happened when you were gifting me? And TikTok dropped me off. Hey, TikTok, oh, please. At least maybe one of these days I'll actually achieve my goal. So, I mean, that will really make me happy as well. I said I don't want to be talking about goals. I want to talk about the issue at hand, really. But all the same, thank you to all the gifters for today. I really appreciate every single one of you. Sir John, I see you there. Let's see who has been listening all the while. Jojo Thula, I see you. Yeah, Hair by Flaky, thank you so much for joining. I really wanted to hear you, but obviously she was at work. Thank you all so much, like I will always say, for making insight very insightful. And I'm sure we've touched lives out there. Like I said, I'll try as much as possible to repost this particular one as soon as I can. God helping me, all the downloading, uploading, downloading. So I'll put it out there. Seek help. There's always help available. Thank you all so much. Much blessing from me. Do have a lovely night rest. Enjoy the weekend. I can't believe July is almost gone. Wow. I hope life is treating us well, and whatever challenges, I'll put this thing out there. I didn't know even me I was going to need that word of encouragement. Life is challenging, but we're still hopeful, and we know that, you know, God will help us, see us through. As much as it lies with you, lies with me, we need to do the needful. Think positive always. Thank you so much. Have a lovely, lovely night rest. Richard, I see you. Yeah, the last weekend in July, Leslie. Yay, thank God. Thank God. Thank you, Richard, and thank you, everyone. Have a lovely, lovely night rest. I will see you back here on Monday by the grace of God. Thank you all so much. Have a lovely night rest. Running no, I think. Good night, thank you. Welfare to well, thank you. Kenneth, thank you. Baritone, thank you. Running no, I see you, but we've just ended the live now. I hope you are good. Thank you so much. Oh wow, 225.6k likes. Wow, thank you all so much. Good night, everyone.